bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, hot topics, current events, all that good stuff. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today. Including, we got to talk about this aftermath of what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel and how SAG-AFTRA and a bunch of people have been coming out slamming this decision and what's going on. Like, it is literally authoritarianism that is coming our way, full on fascism. It is here. It is queer, and it ain't going no damn way. Well, it ain't queer, but you know. Then we got to talk about The View and the fact that people was calling out The View for being silent about it, even though they're on the same network as Jimmy Kimmel, and people are thinking that The View might actually be up next if this thing continues. So we'll get into that. We also got to talk about Justin Bieber. Fans are apparently upset that he didn't talk about Charlie Kirk. Plus, I got some good news in regards to Justin Bieber and how much money he's actually accumulated on his own for this upcoming Coachella performances, because it's going to be 2 weekends that he does it, 2 shows each weekend. But anyway, so we have that. Plus, we got to talk about Eileen Davidson. Oh my God, I realized I just wrote the same thing twice with that. We got to talk about Eileen Davidson and the whole situation that's going on with her, and how she had said something against Charlie Kirk, and people was upset about it because apparently the truth hurts. So we'll get into that. Plus, we have news on Justin Baldoni has hired Sean Diddy's Combs' lawyer. Adele might be up for doing the Super Bowl this season, so it might not be Taylor Swift. The rumors is going around that might be her. Of course, we got to talk about the Queen of the Hour, Madonna, because it is official. She is back with Warner Brothers. Even though those of us who are the hardcore Rebel Heart fans or Madonna fans, whatever y'all calling yourselves, we kind of knew that this was coming. Like, we knew that um Madonna was in talks of getting back with Warner Brothers, but now they made it official. So we'll get into that story and all that's entailing with that and what this actually means, because we are getting the full dance record, which she has been teasing for a while. And so, yeah, it's Confessions Part 2. So we'll get into all of that. Plus, we got to talk about this casino with Jay-Z and the fact that they denied him having the casinos, and I'm gonna let y'all know another rapper who's actually in the running to getting a casino built out in Queens. He's a Queens rapper, so that's a hint. And he's from Queensbridge. If you don't, now that's two hints. Y'all should know who I'm talking about. Um, Third hint, he was married to Khalees. So if y'all can't figure that out, then I don't know what to tell you. So then we also got to talk about this. This was actually recommended by one of the viewers, so I decided to put it together. This Jawn Murray drama that was going on with him over there at the Sherri Shepherd show. So we're gonna get into that, where they saying he quit, but according to Rob Shooter, he was fired for being inappropriate. So we're gonna get into that. Plus, we got to talk about David Geffen is looking to just throw some money, make it rain on his former go-go dancer, soon to be ex-husband, because he want to go back to being a bachelor. He wants this all put behind him. Plus, we're gonna take a blast with the past with, remember Davis Mallory from The Real World, who was a homosexual and got into it with Tyreek and called him the N-word back in the day? Well, if y'all don't remember, I'm gonna remind y'all. But apparently, he's saying that he basically the white version of Andrew Caldwell. He said he not a homosexual no more. So he been cured, and now he out here singing that Christian music. Girl, I looked at you and I was just seeing full on designer purses done fell out your mouth when I looked at you. Like, you give full on gay face. So I can't with you homosexuals out here running around trying to act like y'all don't still pine for the D when we know you do. So we're gonna get into that. Plus, Monet Exchange, we got some good news regarding her. She getting married. So we'll get into all of that situation and everything else. So, okay, so before we get to the topics, if you could please do me a solid, hit that like button, smash that notification bell, hit the subscribe. It definitely helps with the algorithm. Y'all know I'm gonna put the timestamps in when the show is done. So the people that want to come in during the live, during the playback, y'all can just go in and watch whatever clips y'all want to watch instead of having to sit through the whole show if you don't want to do that. Because I know it's a lot. Sometimes we do like three, sometimes we hit 4 hours. I'm trying to do less tonight because I don't even know how many topics we got. Let me see. We got about 12, 13 topics. That's good. But yeah, I had to give y'all a show because actually I thought I was gonna do another morning show. But what had happened was apparently I didn't look at my schedule. I was sitting up there like, oh, when I got to work yesterday during my roll call, they was like, don't forget, y'all got an 11 a.m. call time. I'm like, what? Bad enough I had to do a night. I mean, it's not bad, but I had to do a late show yesterday, and then I had to come back right back and come home. I did it. I don't even think. I think I was so tired. I didn't even put no topics together. That's why this show was going on later than usual because I was putting a lot of the topics together. As soon as I got in, which was like around 7 o'clock. So I spent literally like almost 3 hours compiling some stuff. But I did do some as soon as I got up this morning before I left. But anyway, so yeah, let me hit my banner. I see some people's already in the building. We got Onyx is here. And then Felix said a lot of people were saying Madonna. Yeah, she do. Yeah, I was seeing Courtney Love. I was getting that in the pictures. We gonna do a little, what they call it, a carousel of photos when we get to that topic. And so yeah, so let's get into our first topic. Let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. So I was on my way home yesterday, and all of a sudden I'm getting bombarded with I'm like, what is going on? So I'm seeing this whole thing about Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm like, what? Why is he getting fired? I mean, why did ABC suspend him indefinitely, which basically means you're fired? Um, and they were saying this because of what he said about Charlie Kirk. Now I watched the monologue because I wanted to have a context of what he said. He didn't say anything bad about Charlie Kirk. I think the real tea is he said something about Donald Trump. Donald Trump got mad. The guy over there at the FCC, who basically was the one that was behind the whole, also behind the Stephen Colbert situation and getting the CBS Skydance situation fun, having that thing happen. He stuck his fingers in this, and I think that they put pressure. What is it, Next Star? But I call them Death Star because that's what y'all acting like. Y'all literally acting like the Death Star from Star Wars. So Death Star, because that's what we're gonna call them, basically put pressure on ABC, threatened to pull a lot of their stuff, the ad revenue, all these other things. They got scared because I even got the tweet. Let me see if I could find. Oh yeah, so Rolling Stone had it actually. See, this is pissing me on the thing that keeps restarting. So yeah, Rolling Stone had this, and I want to show y'all. So that way y'all can have an idea of what they said because they was talking about you sit up in there full on lying. They said in the hours leading up to the decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel, two sources familiar with the matter say senior execs at ABC, its owner Disney, and affiliates convened emergency meetings to figure out how to minimize the damage after they, did what they did. Multiple execs felt that Kimmel had not actually said anything over the line, the two sources say, but the threat of Trump administration retaliation loomed. So this is what this is about. This is not even about what Jimmy Kimmel said. They're afraid that because the man baby, Mango Mussolini, and has like the feelings of a flea. Any little thing you say toward him, his little feelings get hurt. So when y'all start making fun of him, he files $100 million lawsuits against the New York Times, which is the recent thing that he's done. He's filing all these suits against all these other companies, and they're shelling out the money instead of fighting him because that's all he does is run back and forth. He loves lawsuits. He likes stealing your money. And these idiots up in there like, oh my God, we're so scared. Let's just give him the money and he'll go away. And it's like, no, when you're dealing with a moron like Mango Mussolini, when he wants an inch, when you give him an inch, he takes a mile. And then when he gets that mile, he wants 2 miles, and so on and so forth. So you have to realize the only way to combat a bully, you can't reason with a bully. You can't talk down a bully. You got to whoop a bully ass. And I know this because I've had to whoop a few when I was growing up. So in their sense, I'm not saying you got to put paws on him. What I'm saying is, metaphorically speaking, you got to fight him in court and he'll back down, or you got to go at him also and back down. Like I just saw recently when there was a reporter from Australia asking him a question, and he got a whole thing to my, oh well, I guess what do they have? Prime ministers or whatever. I guess we'll just go with that because I'm not familiar if y'all have presidents, prime ministers, whatever. But one of the leaders of, well, the prime minister, like I said, we're gonna say that. from Australia was supposed to come over and meet up with him or whatever. And he was making it seem like he was going to threaten the guy's job because he asked him a question about something that, as a president, if you're doing things, people should be able to question you and challenge you on your things. I even saw the I've had it ladies did a whole video on the fact that the Trump family don't even like him, which quiet as it's come, I could have told you that. They just tolerate him because, they got to go along to get along. And, when it comes to that Nepo baby stuff, you got to stay on daddy's good side. You got to pretend you like him so you can enjoy all the perks and the fruits of the labor and the money and the power and the resources and the excess. So you got to put on airs and act like, oh, yeah, I'll stroke you. Yo, there, whoa, 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 whoa. We got to do that to you a little bit. And then behind your back, I can't stand that old orange fat fuck. Like, I'll be up in there cussing up a goddamn storm. Y'all wouldn't hear me do it, but if that was my father, I'm sure all his kids do that. Where it's like they just got, tell me about my eyes. And then once you done stroked his ego enough, then he moves on because that's what you have to do with a man baby. So yeah, so I totally believe all that. But let's get into the story because uh that's what we're basically here for. So let me pull that up and then let's get into it. So, for those of you who need a recap of what transpired, because I'm going to actually tell you what he said. So, what he said was, we hit, because I wanted to play the video, but I don't know. ABC might be funny and they might try to strike us with a copyright. So he said, we hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. And he also went into, then after he said that, he went in on Donald Trump, where they basically was like, he asked him, so the clip of the reporters asking, so how are you holding up? Because he was your friend. He also helped him. He was also a crucial point in getting a lot of the young people to vote for him to be president, even though the young people are being screwed over because they can't get jobs and this, that, and the other. When he promised all these things, just like he promised to bring mines back and coal and all this other stuff, and those people out there are suffering. There's actually a really good video I recommend y'all watch where Bernie Sanders went to West Virginia to speak to a lot of the people in West Virginia where they were talking about how they're holding up since the situation. I think he might have flipped them back blue because for 80 years they were voting Democratic. And until the Trump administration came along, then it just went full on red. But in this situation where he's screwing over a lot of people and cutting everybody's, the food banks are having they balloon in regards of how many people they've had to feed. Like one woman said that they normally have to give 80 people coming. Now it's like over 100. So it's doubled since this administration started cutting everything and hoarding all the money for themselves and the billionaires and all this other stuff instead of wanting to help people who actually need the aid. And I don't understand why you don't want to have people to have health care, people have a way of eating and all these other things that Charlie Kirk was against, because he basically said that people need to get up off their ass and get a job. And it's like, but people are off their behind working. The fact of the matter is the money that's coming in that I'm working for, where I'm having to work 2 or 3 jobs, it's still not enough for me to feed my kids, pay my bills, pay my medical expenses if God forbid anything happens to me, because you have insurance companies that don't want to pay to pay out where if I got an injury or some type of illness that just pops up on me because I'm overworking, I'm exhausted, or whatever the case is, then the insurance companies don't want to cover it. Hence why I keep alluding back to Luigi Mangione taking drastic measures because of that situation. But it's not a compute. It doesn't compute with these people. They want to keep arguing and fighting and blaming and pointing fingers instead of taking responsibility for why we are in the mess, how our system is totally screwed over, and this, that, and the other. So basically, yeah, they asked him about Charlie Kirk, and basically he just changed the subject and started talking about a goddamn White House ballroom that they're about to go into construction over, and how they've been trying to build that for 150 years. I tell you, this man just pulls stuff out his ass. He spent more time pulling things out his ass than wiping it. I bet you it smelled like old nasty rotted fish back there with all the amount of stuff he be pulling out his behind. So at what point is his followers gonna be like, so do you even care about Charlie Kirk, or was this all performative? Which I keep telling y'all, Trump only care about Trump. He don't care about nobody. He don't care about you. He don't care about me. He don't even probably don't even care about his own family members. He just want to be loved and just wants to continue to just lash out and hurt people and think that all the love and the accolades and I hoard it. He wants it all for himself. Like this level of narcissism that he has is just disgusting and astounding to me. So it clearly shows that he don't care about. And then I just heard earlier today when I saw Here's Why We Kevin, I'm like, this is some bullshit. One person said that and I knew this was coming. They're literally holding up Charlie Kirk like he is their version of Martin Luther King, except Charlie pushed hate. And for those of you who need proof, because y'all always talk about, oh, I only played one little clip and um all this other stuff. And it's like, no, y'all not gonna gaslight me with this bullshit and play some goddamn not vocal, verbal gymnastics or with your fingers too. Because a lot of people like to jump in the comments and talk about, well, you only played one little clip and you only did. I mean, what more else is there that I need to show you when I've showed you what this man is, I've read to you what this man has said verbatim. I've showed you clips of what he said verbatim. Y'all keep taking out of context. Context for who? Because if you're not the other, then you don't see what we see. When you're that white heterosexual male, yeah, you're not going to be bothered by some of the things that he said towards homosexuals, towards trans people, towards anybody who isn't white and male, towards black people, towards women. And it's funny how they tell me his wife is going to take over the company. And it's like, that's not what he would have wanted. He thought women were beneath him. Even though he was married to some puss, he thought women was beneath him. We've heard the things he said about women. So I'm not pulling this stuff and making it up. There was even one man that was literally just posting his quotes on social media without any context in it, just regurgitating what he's saying, and they try to get him fired. I'm like, what? How you trying to fire somebody for something they said, or for repeating what someone else said? This is the part where I always talk about how people just don't want to take accountability for the things that they say and what they do. So there was this thing I came across where they said Charles James Kirk, who's 31, died on Wednesday from a gunshot in the neck at a Utah Valley University campus event just as he was trying to deflect a question about mass shootings by suggesting they were largely a function of gang violence. He died with a net worth of 12 million, which he made by espousing horrific and bigoted views in the name of advancing Christian nationalism. And that's the thing they do too. They hide behind God and Jesus and spew hate. But as long as they say it with a smile and a little twang, and they throw God and Jesus in the thing, because those are like buzzwords that immediately get the Christian nutbags in mind, like the ones that are brainwashed, get y'all immediately in line. I feel like those are like sleeper cell words. When they mention like God and Jesus, well, you know how they do with the sleeper agents. It's like they say a certain word and y'all get activated immediately. That's what I feel like a lot of this is. So as long as they say it with a smile and they throw God and Jesus in it, all is forgiven because he loved the Lord. I'm like, and what part does God say that he hates this one, that one, the other one? It's giving Jerry Falwell and them people that was a part of that crazy Christian nationalist church. But anyway, so they said the foundation of his empire was a group he co-founded with and led, Turning Point USA, which is a key youth recruitment arm of the MAGA movement. Kirk was able to launch Turning Point at the age of 18 because he received money from Tea Party member Bill Montgomery, right-wing donor Foster Feist, and his own father, also a prolific right-wing donor. He was an unprecedented racist, transphobe, homophobe, and misogynist who often wrapped his bigotry in Bible verses because there was no other way to pretend that it was morally correct. He had children, as do many vile people. So we can sit up in here and condemn violence against people because I don't think people should be killed for what they believe in. He had a right to say what he wanted to say, and I wholeheartedly, vehemently disagreed with what he said. But should someone's life be taken? No, because I feel like then if I say something that you don't like, does that mean that I should be taken out because of what I believe, even though I'm more or less a logical thinker and I'm not trying to discriminate and hate on my fellow human being? I don't sit up in here and discriminate against marginalized people or people who are opposite of what my beliefs are. You have a right to carry your beliefs, and that's what this country is supposed to be about: freedom of speech, freedom to express yourself. But also, what comes with that is freedom of consequence or consequences to the freedom of what you spew out of your mouth. And when you give this energy of hatred and vitriol, and then you set up a whole little situation where you're going at people for like a watch list. Like I was watching this video, and I think I want to show y'all this of Mark Lamont Hill going in well, basically talking about how Charlie Kirk put him on a watch list because he was a black professor teaching black studies, and he put a watch list, even though I don't know how he was supposed to be doing that anyway. Who gave him the authority to be doing something like that when you're not even a political figure? You were a podcaster, a YouTuber. But before we get to that, I do want to I want to mention something in regards of the union, SAG-AFTRA, did speak out on his behalf, on Jimmy Kimmel's behalf, because I feel like he didn't say, like I said, he didn't say anything bad. He just made a joke about Donald Trump mm, caring more about a ballroom and the White House than did Charlie Kirk, who looked up to Donald Trump, I guess, as his hero, whatever the case is. So it's like, at what point do you show some kind of empathy, even if it's for this guy? He couldn't do it. He just really has a hard time showing that he can have any kind of feelings for anybody other than making it about himself. You worry more about a goddamn ballroom that nobody asked for, and I'm sure he's gonna put in cheap ass gold that he sprayed, some trinkets he spray painted gold from damn Home Depot and have it sprinkled all over that damn ballroom like he did the Oval Office. So yeah, they posted this, and it says the right to speak our minds and to disagree with each other, to disturb even, is at excuse me, the very heart of what it means to be free people. It is not to be denied, not by violence, not by the abuse of government power, nor by acts of corporate cowardice. As a guild, we stand united in opposition to anyone who uses their power and influence to silence the voices of writers or anyone who speaks a dissent. If free speech applied only to ideas we like, we needn't have bothered to write it into the Constitution. What we have signed on to, painful as it may be at times, is the free agreement to disagree. Shame on those in government who forget this founding truth. As for our employers, our words have made you rich. Silencing us impoverishes the whole world. The WGA stands with Jimmy Kimmel and his writers. And I agree, and I stand with him as well. And I feel like even if you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel fan. I'm not somebody who watches his show. Quiet as it's kept, I don't watch any late night because I feel like late night is dry, it's corny, it's tired, it's a white man's club. It's still the same. It's the same old boring. I'm going to sit behind it. I'm going to do an opening monologue that has to be safe to say or whatever. And then I sit behind a desk and you ask the same corny ass written questions to a celebrity where you can't really go in and have deep conversations with them. So I don't particularly care for late night. Late night is old guard. It is what it is. There are people who still cuck to it because the older demographic is still around and that's what they like. So y'all can have that while we do what we do over here. But the reason why I say like we need to stand behind Jimmy Kimmel, because if we don't, what's going to happen is you think that it's only going to affect linear TV? Oh no, they're going to come after us on social media next. So I could be next. Hassan Piker could be next. Kyle Kalinske could be next. Savvy Savs could be next. Anybody who talks against this regime or even talks about anything, particularly Israel or what's happening over there in Palestine, we're all going to be silenced. We could be, treated like how they're treated in Russia or China or, Venezuela is one of those type of places. Whereas, like, if you speak out against your government, you either have to pack up and leave or you could be silenced. And I'm not saying I don't know if they do assassinate. I mean, I think there's some countries. I don't know which ones do, but there have been people who speak politics. Like I think there was a guy in Turkey who was like doing jokes or whatever the case was. He had to pack up and leave because the president out there didn't like some of the stuff that they were saying. So they're taking this out of like the dictator fascist playbook, similar to Hitler, where it was like, oh, if you're a court jester, which is basically what comedians are, the people that get up and they tell the jokes, and you can always slip some truthful stuff in a joke that could go over the head of a lot of these moronic fascist dictator wannabes, the ones we have here. But if we keep it up and we keep just allowing this and sitting back and letting all this happen, what's going to happen is we literally are going to become one of those fascist dictator type nations. So I'm actually with I'm with the WGA, which is the Writers Guild, and also um well, they said the Writers Guild of America West and the East basically said that they stand behind him. Also, SAG-AFTRA, and I think it was another one. There was the American Federation of Musicians of the United States of Canada president, Tino Gagliardi, also said this is not complicated. Trump's FCC, which is basically stands for Federal Communications Commission, identified speech it did not like and threatens ABC with extreme reprisals. This is state censorship. It's now happening in the United States of America, not some far off country. It's happening right here and right now. This act by the Trump administration represents a direct attack of free speech and artistic expression. These are fundamental rights that we must protect in a free society. And um, the musicians, the Federation of Musicians, strongly condemns the decision to take Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air. I did see that there were some people that were canceling their Disney Plus subscription. So if that's something you feel like that's a way of the act of protest, a shout out to my black people, because remember when Tarjay came at us with we get rid of DEI, what happened? Most black, I ain't gonna say all of you, because some of you still out here shucking and jiving, cooning and buffooning. But um most black people decided, you know what, I'm not gonna go down to Tarjay and give them my coins. So then they started to suffer. And then they said they got rid of the CEO. But then again, I'm like, oh no, because this I feel like they was lying about the what's going on my mic. I don't think they fully fired the CEO. I think they said that just to try to get us to go, but they don't believe it. Still keep your protests and stuff going. So I think they kind of put him in the background, but they want y'all to think they got rid of him. But it's like, okay, so you got rid of the CEO, but did you bring the DEI stuff back? Because that's where the real situation is. And I'm not saying that you need to just give things where people of color should just be given a job based off of because they're black or they're Latino or they're a woman or they're gay or whatever. The fact of the matter is we create these things because there wasn't a way for people of color or anyone who is from a marginalized community were getting opportunities that would automatically go to white people. If we were being fair in how we hire people and give people jobs, then we wouldn't be having to create DEI programs and all this other stuff. It's funny how I have to break all this down, but it's like these people that work in these corporations and these big businesses, it's like y'all be mad slow trying to understand that. And y'all got to realize Republicans ain't never been for trying to give people a way to take care of themselves. They always have been about cut, 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 small democracy, let's take and hoard, and y'all will just fight for the scraps. That's always kind of been their MO. So shout out to them. And I hope that I mean, even if Jimmy Kimmel is reinstated, and this is what Damon Lindelof, who worked on the show Lost, and he's done a lot of stuff. I think he also did like Star Trek and stuff. He said that he's boycotting ABC until they give him his job back. But I feel like after all this, would I even want to go back to ABC? I don't know if I would want to go back and work for these people after they treated me the way they was treated me. I'd tell them sit and spin. Or what I would do is basically go down to get my lawyers. We lawyering up. We filing a lawsuit. I'm filing, and I'm going big. I'm taking that number Derek Dixon put on Tyler Perry. I'm going damn near $300 million. I'm going after ABC because if Trump could get to sue for some bullshit and still get money because they wanted to go away. Oh no, I'm cleaning house. I'm making sure that Hulu, ABC, all of y'all go and file for bankruptcy because I'm cleaning y'all motherfuckers out. I'm gonna buy Disney from you bitches because of the way of how you treated me unfairly. How you gonna just fire somebody for saying something that you didn't like? That's not what that is. We have a right to say things in this country that are against what you believe. That's not how the world works. Well, it's not how the United States works, but it looks like it's about to work in this situation. So, last but certainly not, I wanted to play all that Mark Lamont Hill thing. The video was like 8 minutes long, so I don't know if I want to play that. But what I do want to play you, because I feel like this would be a much better one. I'm gonna play y'all this one from Joy Reid where she went in on MAGA and everything she said, I would just full on round of applause because she was just like, I don't understand how y'all have everything y'all want. And I've been saying this for the longest. Y'all have done everything y'all wanted. Y'all have dismantled so many things and taken so many things away from people. You got everything you want. You got all the people in the places that you want them to be in this country and in the government positions, and y'all are still angry. Why? You should be happy. You should be happy. You got the White House, you got the House, you got the Senate, you got all these other things. You've taken over the White House, you made it ugly with all that damn cheap gold. It ain't even real gold. And y'all still mad. Why you mad though? Why you mad though? In the words of Morgan McMichaels. So anyway, let's play this clip where she went and let her go ahead, sis, and we'll come back and we'll talk. Please hold.
Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House, you have both houses of Congress, you have a Supreme Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI, as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. If the airlines are crashing, that's you. That's the people you wanted to run the United States government. The FBI, y'all are laughing at them on X Twitter and saying that they look ridiculous. That's your FBI. They've purged the people who made the FBI what it was. It's not what you wanted. You have your podcasters running the FBI. You have your friend from the real world running the Department of Transportation. That's what you wanted. There's no longer a gay guy there. The gay guy's gone. The gay guy's at home with his kid and his husband. He's not in charge anymore. The Department of Justice is what you wanted. It's your Justice Department that won't release the Epstein files. If you're mad about the Epstein files, you shouldn't be mad at me and the left. You need to be mad at Donald Trump. You all have the country. You run every red state like it's already Project 2025. You won't let women have abortions in Texas. They're literally dying of sepsis. That's what you wanted. You wanted women to have only 6 weeks to get an abortion in Georgia. You got it. You wanted Texas to be a petri dish and a laboratory for every right-wing, anti-Black, anti-gay, anti-trans idea. And you also got rid of vaccines. Every child in Florida is now going to go to school with kids who could give them measles, mumps, and rubella and COVID. That's what y'all wanted. You now have a paradise in Florida where you can get sick, cough on people, let them die of whatever disease you're carrying. It's almost like you've got the pilgrims again that can come and cough on all the natives and take them out. That's what you wanted. You got it. You wanted Florida to be that. It's that. You wanted the United States to be Florida. It's that. But yet you all are still so angry. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't understand it. I don't mean to rant and rave, but I am genuinely trying to get to the bottom of what you all are so angry about. And I think I have a suspicion and I have a guess. What you all are angry about is that while you have gotten everything you wanted on the right, we on the other side won't give you love for it. We won't respect you for it. We won't hail you for it. We won't respect you and say, hey, we want to, have you at the Oscars. We want to fet you. We want to make you guys, we want to wrap our arms around you. You want us to embrace you. You don't just want to run us and tell us what to do and tell us what to think and tell us what to read and tell us what history we can have. You don't just want to tell us what to do. You want us to embrace you. What you really want is to sit at our table. You're mad because while you are running the country into the ground, you're destroying your own farmers with tariffs. You're destroying your own farmers by taking away their subsidies that used to go with USAID. You got what you wanted. They've ended the farm subsidies. These are the things y'all asked for. You got your big, beautiful budget. That's what you wanted. Trump gave it right to you. You got your permanent tax cut. You're still pissed because the left, the other side, the majority, we still cannot stand you. We cannot stand Christian nationalism. We don't want it. And because we will not say we want your Christian nationalism, we embrace your Christian nationalism. We like your Christian nationalism. We like you. Because we won't do that, that's why you're still mad. But guess what we're going to keep on doing? We're going to keep on being moisturized and unbothered, and we still not going to like it.
Okay.
We're never going to like Christian nationalism. We're never going to accept it. We're never going to be down with it. And our squad is bigger than your squad at the end of the day. We have the Boricuas. We got the Mexican Americans. They done woke up. They said, whoo, Lord, let's go ahead and go with these folks. We got the spicy whites. The spicy white fucking with us.
Not the spicy whites.
Right? We got the Asian Americans who woken up and said, whoa, we better be with them. Right? Chinese Americans, they see you. Japanese Americans are like, you're going to do internment again? We see you.
South Koreans
are like, oh, we see you. Y'all gonna kick the South Koreans out. Now you're going to cry because Georgia's going to have a worse economy because you're not going to get to have the South Koreans teaching y'all to have those high-tech jobs. The South Koreans are like, oh, well, sure hate it. Africa's like, we're just going to do business with each other. We got BRICS. We don't need y'all. Tourists are like, we don't need y'all. The African Americans, the Caribbean Americans are getting together and said, yo, why are we fighting each other? Caribbean Americans are like, yo, we were y'all. We've been hip hop together. Let's go off. And you're mad at us because we do not want to be with you. This America you want, that's yours, y'all. You keep it. We don't want it. Why are y'all so angry? You have the White House.
That part. So, y'all gonna continue to stay mad. And like she said, we're gonna continue to stay moisturized while a lot of y'all who still mad and eat and full of hate and anger, because one of the things about when you full of hate and when you full of evil and all that, like I've chose in my life as I get older, which is why I look so young and no lines and none of the other stuff in this face, is because I don't sit and cuck myself to just being angry and hating on people. My brother's like that, and he's 3 years younger than me and looks twice as old because the bitch is miserable. So y'all can have at being miserable and unhappy and hating on your life and hating the things that other people have, because you can't steal our joy. As she would say, joy, tell about you can't steal our joy. And while we over here continuing to be unbothered and moisturized and fighting back this big bullshit bill or whatever he got coming out, this is why a lot of them people over there keep shoving, injecting all that fix-a-flat in their face and in their damn ass. And then why they be looking all crazy, looking like a mask out of that The Purge movie. Because y'all be looking crazy out here in these streets. So shout out to Joy. And, y'all keep hating. And that's what it is. It's like y'all just so miserable, you're so angry, you're gonna just leave. There's gonna be nothing left for them to destroy. And then it's like, then what's next? Because you got to keep feeding that beast. Once that monster is out of the closet, you got to keep feeding it. And when you're going to keep feeding that hate until what? So shout out to Jimmy Kimmel. Hopefully that I hope he sues the hell out of ABC and Disney, because they're cooked. And if this continues, where they're gonna keep going after late night hosts, because it starts with the comedians, and after that they're gonna go after more of us. They're gonna go after personalities, then they're gonna go after regular people. They already started arresting people for having thoughts or even saying anything remotely mild about Charlie Kirk. People been getting arrested, people in Texas, no less, not surprising. Or they've been fired from their jobs or whatever, just for having an opinion, or just for speaking out and being like, yeah, we're condemning what he did, but we can't sit up in here and try to act like he was like this martyr. And you know what? Fuck them damn Democrats that actually voted to give him give him a national holiday. I'm like, for why? So you're okay with cucking to white supremacy? Why? Because you don't want to piss off Trump? Like, what are we doing? I feel like if y'all not going to fight back, if y'all not going to be on the opposing team and fight back all this stuff that's happening, then in the words of Ludacris, move, bitch, get out the fucking way. Like, why are you even in office if you're not going to do nothing but sit on your ass and play dead? Because that's what that old fossil looking motherfucker told people to do. Play possum, so that way when the midterms come around, everybody's going to automatically vote down blue. And it's like, your votes are not guaranteed. I don't know why you think like you want things to be so bad that we just so desperate. We need the Democrats. Mind you, Democrats don't do shit. but take money from APAC and a bunch of other damn people. Don't even get me started on the buffoonery with y'all. So before I continue to go on another tangent, because I know this one topic is probably going to be 30 minutes damn long. Because it was a lot to unpack. I say all to say, what do you guys think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are on this matter regarding our freedom of speech being on the line because Trump's little feelings got hurt. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. What flow? You ain't no rapper. Yeah, I heard that too. But the situation is like I don't know if he won he won being the new president, but when does he start? Like at the end of the like in January? Because Fran Drescher is the head of SAG-AFTRA. So I want so I don't know if she has that's probably her that has something to do with that. Sean Astin just won the election, so I'm sure he's going to be starting when Fran is done, whenever her term is. I guess at the end of the year, we're in this situation because no one listened to the warnings of black. Oh, please, we always be at the forefront of sound the alarm, but of course, because it comes from us, y'all don't want to hear it, and then when y'all are in a position of too little, too late, then all of a sudden, oh, it's happening. And that's why we said we're just going to sit on our ass, mind our business, continue to look young, youthful, and moisturized while y'all fight it out. He said, for none of these actions Trump is puppeteering or a shock to black folks. White people, though, of course they are, because we've been there and done that. We've had to deal with trauma. We've had to deal with all these things, but the one thing we've always had to do is remain vigilant. We've had to push through the storm. We had to push through the mess. We always, dealt with, 400 years of slavery. What could go wrong? What could be worse, right? So, but then again, we just had like that story that came out about someone who was hung. And what was it, in Mississippi? It was a black man that got hung. And then it was somebody that was some rapper who, God, his music is terrible, basically gave a whole tutorial on how to lynch somebody. And I'm like, this is how dumb y'all are. Y'all really thought you need a rap video to know how to lynch someone? All you got to do, oh, wait, I forgot. They ban all the books and things. So, how would you know how to look up how to historically do something or how to do something when historically we've seen how lynchings are done? But y'all need a whole tutorial from a music video from some corny ass rapper who has no kind of rap skills whatsoever and no formidable talent. But I guess if you like it, I love it, right? But anyway, so let's get into our second topic and let's talk about the view. So a lot of people were wondering this morning, of course, because after the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing last night happened yesterday, I know people immediately jumped over there on to watch the view to see if they had said anything. Me, I was working earlier, so I didn't get to see it. Quiet as it's kept, I only watched one episode of this new season. I just feel like the view was there. I could care less. And I think it's because I'm so progressive in my political beliefs and watching so many other political pundits like I've had a podcast, watching Sabby Sabs, watching who else? Oh, Kyle Kalinski's Secular Talk. I also watch his wife Crystal Ball when she's over there talking. I watch a lot of political pundits, like a lot of progressives. I watch independents and progressive Democrats. Of course, I'm not sitting there watching no right wing nutbag stuff because y'all gonna make my blood boil and you make my teeth itch. So, because y'all spew a lot of bullshit and rhetoric, and it's too many of y'all, and not enough of people who are actual logical, critical thinkers that are running around on social media. That's why we need this new generation, this younger generation, to pipe up and actually come on the front lines and start speaking. Because I told you I'm blue in the face, and people act like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyway, so when it comes down to the View, they kind of give sort of like this boomer, Disney-fied kids table version of politics for the most part. So they're not really going to talk about the things that are actually happening. They'll just mention some stupid soundbite that Trump said, and then they laugh and kiki about it, and they'll give like their little surface comments about it, but don't really dive deep into the whole political cesspool of mess. And I guess it's because it's a 1 hour, 40-minute show with more ads than damn show. And they gotta view your deal stuff, and they get 5 minutes to basically have 6 women talk politics, which is impossible, but whatever. So that's why they got to surface kid table bullshit when it comes to talking about the politics. But if y'all like it, I love it. My parents pretty much like The View or whatever. Me, I'm way, like I said, I'm way more progressive in my stuff. So because The View has been heavily into the politics and talking heavily about Donald Trump, people were wondering if they were going to mention anything about Jimmy Kimmel being fired. Well, cut me shut. Or as Whoopi would say, calling me did. Well, yeah, they did the whole show and didn't talk about Jimmy Kimmel at all. So there was one post that I came across and it said, I don't believe it's a coincidence that the View co hosts have discussed the Charlie Kirk situation as a tragedy it is without also discussing the truth about who he was in life. Well, of course, they weren't going to do that because they didn't want to get a lash about how dare you bring up the fact that he was a bigot and a white supremacist. But that's what came out of his mouth. That's what he went on these college campuses to debate people on, which, sidebar, as people not computed the fact that how are you a college dropout and going on college campuses debating college students? Make that make sense? So ABC executives have the spine of not Hakeem Jeffries, child. So, as we like to call him over here, APAC Shakur. I have no doubt the ladies were all pulled into a meeting and told not to speak disparagingly about the second coming of Martin Luther King, and then they put a vomit emoji next to it because that's what they was calling him. They out here talking about he the second coming of Martin. Like, child, if y'all don't sit up here and stop trying to desecrate that actual good man's legacy by comparing him to Martin Luther King, like Martin Luther King was about peacefulness and nonviolence, not inciting violence, not spewing hate and vitriol because he was an actual pastor. So they said, so much for the First Amendment. We are in a constitutional crisis. So then came the article, courtesy of page 6, where they were talking about, yeah, they failed to address the elephant in the room. But a source went and told page 6 that they were not ordered to steer clear of the news. So they were saying, like, I guess it was an oversight. So Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, Joy Behar, and Alyssa Farah Griffin said nothing about the biggest TV story of the week during their live Thursday broadcast. But while both are ABC shows, an insider said the ladies were not silenced. So they said, quote, they were not told not to discuss it. The insider suggested that the ladies may have been waiting for Kimmel to speak out, as they did when CBS pulled the plug on Stephen Colbert and the Late Show franchise in July. It's an ongoing story, and hot topics are discussed daily, they said. Friday's episode of The View was filmed on Thursday afternoon, but it's unclear if they tackle the topic of Kimmel. Meanwhile, ABC insiders are incensed that the network didn't protect Kimmel by editing his monologue in which he said of Charlie Kirk's alleged murder, Tyler Robinson, or murderer. He said the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it, which is absolutely true because the minute this whole situation went down, they politicized everything. Quiet as it's kept, this administration politicizes everything. And that's why I hate when people say, stop bringing politics into stuff. Stop talking about politics. I'm like, we would love to stop talking about politics if you stop trying to turn everything into something political. They even turn wiping your ass political. They make that political. Everything is a political spin. And it's like, we were never in a position where everything was engulfed in politics. These people live, eat, breathe, and sleep and shit politics, even though they know nothing about politics based on what they're doing. It's just they're strong arming people to make the world go into this Christian nationalist, authoritative direction. So, Next Star Media Group, which is the main owner of ABC affiliates, announced it wouldn't air him on their stations. Meanwhile, Sinclair Broadcasting said they're also pulling him from his stations unless he apologizes to Kirk's family and donates to his political activist group. And Jimmy, if you donate to him, I will lose all respect because first of all, you didn't say anything bad. These people want you to shell money out of your like what kind of grift? Like this is a fucking grift. Y'all want me not only to apologize but to donate money. The man is worth $12 million. He don't need money. Any more money. So one network source said to the New York Post, ABC is stupid. They should have edited Kimmel. They know President Donald Trump is after him. Their standards department should have flagged it. They should have known better. But why would they have to flag something when, as I said before, Jimmy Kimmel didn't say anything bad. He didn't say anything bad about Charlie Kirk. He was basically saying like how the Trump administration is basically trying to use him as sort of like, in my opinion, a smokescreen. They're hiding behind him to push more of their authoritative ideologies and whatever policies they have in place. Just like we had Netanyahu come out, and I remember we did a whole breakdown of this in a previous video. How people believe that this was the Israel hit, where Netanyahu may have had something to do with it because Charlie Kirk was starting to turn away from this whole Israel situation and what's happening, what Netanyahu's been about, and them and Netanyahu trying to infiltrate his compound with a little money and those other stuff. And Charlie Kirk was kind of being a little iffy about it. He didn't want to push into that. So when you have powerful people trying to come into your shit, especially when I read to y'all earlier, who gave Charlie Kirk all the money to start up his company, including his father, who donated to a lot of, you know, Christian or even red state type ideologies. This is what you get. So, do I believe that these ladies were silenced? Yes. I feel like y'all full of shit. Y'all talking about, y'all broken news immediately before. Y'all could have added, this was the thing that happened literally in less than 24 hours prior to y'all show. So you didn't think that, okay, this is major news that y'all could have brought this up today, but they're saying that they're going to wait. So I'm going to give y'all until Monday because Friday is actually, y'all said that's taped. So I'm going to check Friday's show out and see if they bring it up. If you don't, I'm going to give you the Monday. If y'all don't bring it up on Monday, then I know y'all full of shit and y'all worrying about losing your damn job. Because I do believe that the View is on the chopping block, and this is according to the Daily Mail. Now I don't usually like their asses over there because I feel like they're like British conservative, or I think they're kind of like the paid six of the UK. So FCC Chair Brenda Carr, who suspended Jimmy Kimmel live over the host's controversial remarks. He didn't say anything controversial, so I'm so sick of y'all saying it was controversial because it wasn't. Suggests it may be worthwhile for his agency to review ABC's The View. Oh, Brendan Carr, that's that asshole, the one that had something to do with um what would I say? Jimmy Kimmel. Now, speaking to CNN on Thursday about the FCC's equal opportunity rule, Carr said, I would assume you can take the argument that The View is a bona fide news show, but I'm not so sure about that. Well, I wouldn't go there and necessarily say that The View is a news show because I don't feel like it is. I do know that they cover newsworthy topics and they'll bring someone like a Jonathan Carl to come on or somebody of that nature to speak about whatever news type of stuff that goes on. But for most of the part, they're an entertainment panel talk show. So they're not a news channel. None of these women up there act like they're news reporters. To be honest, I think the only person up there who might have a journalistic background is Sarah Haynes, because she comes from doing a bunch of other stuff. So Sarah Haynes might be. I could be wrong, but I feel like because she did Good Morning America and things of that nature, I think she might be the one up there who has a journalistic background. I'm not necessarily sure about Lisa Farrell Griffin. And Sunny, we all know, is a former prosecutor who's done a lot of CNN and things of that nature. But I don't necessarily know if she has a journalist degree. We know she got a law degree because she never lets us forget it. So then they also wanted to say, and I think it's worthwhile to have the FCC look into whether The View and some of these other programs that you have still qualify as bona fide news programs. And if they are news programs, then what does that mean? Like you want them pulled because they're saying something that you don't agree with? And that's not where our country should be going. That every news channel has to be News Nation or Fox News or whatever other damn channels y'all have. Not all of us are Borg. We're not a monolith. We don't all just one track mind, one belief. We're all individual beings. And you trying to turn America into some like fascist nation, People are not going to stand for it, including those in the red states that voted for you. So tread lightly, people, because y'all think y'all are short-sighted in all of this, not realizing the long-term effects that this is going to have down the line because y'all are looking at a glass half full. So on Wednesday, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr urged broadcasters to stop airing his show, hinting he would open an investigation into the vicious comments. Well, waste the money and open the comment. I mean, open it, the investigation, because you're not going to find nothing. By Wednesday night, Disney-owned ABC announced Jimmy Kimmel Live was preempted indefinitely without elaborating further. And Kimmel hasn't commented. Um, and so yeah, he's someone that it may be worthwhile to investigate the View. So if this happens, then it's not going to stop there. They're going to continue to go down the line. Jimmy Fallon, even though Jimmy Fallon is so damn pussy, like he don't say nothing remotely offensive, not just only about politics, but any celebrity that comes on the stage on his stage. So he the most harmless one there, and he'll easily cut to whatever just so he can keep his job and a check coming in because Jimmy Fallon is easily manipulated. He's got he's got that Hakeem Jeffrey spine, so he's fine. Y'all don't have to fire him, even though Trump insulted him and called him a loser and all that other stuff. It's funny how you always call people no talent, losers, whatever, and I'm like, what is your talent except being a chaos demon? I didn't know you had to have a talent to do that. So the View, I don't know. Keep doing what y'all do. I don't know if ABC should be protecting their talent and should be pushing back against Trump. But at the end of the day, if y'all, if it does come down to them chopping the show, in the words of Whoopi Goldberg, the View, you in danger, girl. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do y'all believe that the View could be on the cusp of being on the chopping block, whatever the case is? And I mean, that's always been. I've been seeing a lot of stories that that's what they've been alluding to for the longest, making it seem like that they were going to get rid of the View. But nothing so far has transpired. But I hope they don't get rid of the show, not because I care enough about it, but we need to be having differences of opinion and different points of view on television. We shouldn't only just have one side and that one side spewing nothing but lies and misinformation. Because like the video I saw of when I was telling you about that video, that broadcast that I told you that where Bernie Sanders went to West Virginia and spoke to the people out there who are suffering right now, where one of the women was like, she actually grew to like him because she was like, "Oh, you're not as scary as I thought." And I think that's the problem is like when you watch channels like Fox News on this stuff, they create these boogeymen because they want to keep you scared. They want to keep you thinking that people are a certain way. And then when you actually take the time to actually investigate, watch a couple of people videos, listen to what they have to say before you judge them, which I did with the Charlie Kirk stuff, and I still stand by what the fuck I said about him because he is a bigot. But when you look at somebody like a Bernie Sanders, and it's like, oh, you're not the big bad wolf that you were made out to be. Yeah, because the other side wants y'all to always be in constant fear. So always take the time, if you have it, to do your research, do your due diligence, check and make up your own mind, so that way you're not having these other people out here who are paid to bullshit and lie to you, telling you what you should and should not believe. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I watched the view today, hoping. Oh, I watched the view today, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst, and I got the damn latter. They said nothing about on their. Yeah, yeah, they are sellouts. So they're sitting up here trying to act like that. Oh yeah, it was like, child. First of all, y'all full of shit. Y'all, this show been on for 28 damn seasons. Y'all know how the gumbo is made. Y'all know how to make things. You know how to break a story and put it in there. If it's something that is, I mean, I don't know what they talked about. They probably talked about some dumb stuff on there. And per usual, which is why a lot of times I just, if I happen to just be watching, I'll fast forward through a lot of the view to see what they, chatting about. But yeah, I'm not surprised at all. All right. I can't wait till we hurry up and get through all this Charlie Kirk stuff. But we got to do this topic that I said I was going to talk about the other day. So let's get into Justin Bieber, who apparently they're saying that he disappointed his fans because he stayed silent on the Charlie Kirk situation. And here's the thing, maybe he stayed silent because A, he has nothing to say about it, or B, if he says anything, there might be a fear of retaliation. He's made his whole career off the backs of black music. So you go against your black brothers and sisters, although we ain't forget about you saying one less lonely ninja in that song. Yeah, I didn't forget that. So he's facing criticism because while other celebrities, such as, of course, but why y'all surprised that Arnold Schwarzenegger said something? Y'all shouldn't be surprised. We know where Arnold leans. He's a Republican, and he was a governor of California. And then he was saying that, Schwarzenegger's called for unity and end the political violence. But here's the thing: political violence shouldn't only be acknowledged when it's a Charlie Kirk. Political violence has been going on since before speech replaced sign language. So this is nothing new. So we need to have that same energy, just like when that Democrat who was killed in her home, her husband, her dog, from some radical nutbag. Um, we need to have that same energy across the board, not just because someone that you like was affected. So, taking to Instagram last night, which would technically be September 14th, the Canadian singer shared an image of a photo frame taken from the home he shares with road beauty boss wife, Haley, and their son, Jack Blues. The frame contained a list of 10 values that the family seemingly attempt to follow, which include the likes of: we value rest and as worship, we value health and physical wellness as an act of stewardship, and we value human beings and believe in their dignity and eternal youth or eternal worth. Now, while some praised the baby musician for his Christian values, others took to the comments to Bieber's latest post to criticize him for failing to mention Charlie Kirk. So Kirk, you already know what happened to him. We don't need to get into it. We already know the person that allegedly did it, Tyler Robinson. One fan of the right-wing activist hit out at Bieber saying, mention the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who left behind a beautiful wife, Erica, a daughter who is 3, and a son who is 1, who will now grow up without their dad. And first of all, there is spelled Their, not There. Learn which and there we use. Is it the There, They apostrophe Re, or Their? I feel like if y'all gonna get on here and try to read, at least know which there, and there that you got to put. So then another person said, when his daughter asked her mother, where is daddy? Is Erica, wait, what? When his daughter asked her mother where daddy is, Erica said he's working with, not working with God, child. How do you explain that lose? You're doing this on purpose. Now, there's another misspelling up in here. Or is it literally like how these people are writing? Yeah, they said, how do you explain that lose to a 3-year-old? I suggest you take a look at Erica Kirk's message regarding Charlie. Well, leave Justin alone, please. Another slammer starts saying, say his beautiful name, Charlie Kirk, our brother in Christ. Well, why don't you fucking say it? And stop trying to tell people what they should do in their own time and on their own social media. It's kind of like what I said about when Jade from, Little Mix, who has a new album out, was saying that artists should use their platforms to speak out, like all of them basically. And I'm like, no, if you have it within you to be a political activist and speak out, then do that. Like most recently, we had Florence Pugh speaking out against what's happening in the genocide of Palestine. And I'm like, kudos to her. But if you feel like you have it within you to want to speak out, then you should be able to speak out. Nobody should force you to want to take on a political stance if it's not in your ministry. So yeah, now everybody keeps about brother in Christ, brother in Christ. It's like, look, I already told y'all like how a lot of these nuts like to hide behind God and Jesus, but as long as they spew they hate with a smile, then all is forgiven. And it's like, no, discrimination is discrimination, no matter what type of coat, turncoat, or hat or whatever you put on. So they keep going and keep going and keep going, and where they talk about they respect you sharing your family values. And it's like, yeah, well, there should be no but in that. But I'm surprised and disappointed you haven't said a word about Charlie. Well, were they buddies? Or were they best friends? Were they Kiki girlfriends or whatever? Did they kind of like hang out and shoot the shit and play pool together? Like, why are y'all wanting him so bad to speak out about Charlie Kirk? Y'all get on that man dick. And then, of course, here's the thing, because I'm like, oh, nah, we see it. You spoke loudly for George Floyd and BLM. Why not speak now? Consistency matters. Y'all want to be so. Child, let me tell you about these palm people. I'm not talking about old white people because, I have a love for white people. I have white people in my family. My great grandfather was German. So you can't get no more whiter than that. However, uh, and that's like the Aryan from Darien, child. However, why is it that white people want to be so oppressed so bad? Y'all want to call Charlie Kirk the Martin Luther King of y'all generation. You talk about, oh, you spoke out about Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. Why you not going to speak out about our person? Because Black Lives Matter is about showing that discrimination against Black people, which they're unjustifiably killed in this country, especially how they're handled by the police department or law enforcement in general, the judicial system. That's a tongue twister and things of that nature. So that's what they were saying. Black lives matter. Well, people who are of color and Black trans lives matter. And then here y'all come with the all lives matter. But it's like y'all not affected the same way people of color are. White people don't get treated the same way Black people get treated when police approach them. So let's not act. We're not going to do that all lives matter shit because it don't. Not to certain people, it don't, and not to Charlie Kirk. It didn't. All lives didn't matter. So we're not going to do that here. And like I said before, Justin don't have to speak on something he don't want to speak on. And it's not even pertaining to this. This is for anything. So we put that out there, and then we got to tell the other side. A number of the believers have jumped to his defense, wondering why someone in the entertainment industry should feel forced to speak out on all political matters, which is what I've been saying this whole damn time. And I'm sitting there looking at a picture of Justin, and boy, your fly is open. And it said, why are there people on Instagram going through psychosis begging Justin Bieber to talk about Charlie Kirk? Another admitted, I'm confused why people think Justin has a responsibility to mention it. Maybe he has prayed to God for Kirk's family. Maybe he hasn't. The point is that you do not have the right to judge. Another person said, why does everyone think a celebrity has to speak about Charlie Kirk like he was the president or SMTHLMAO? I think it meant something. A fourth point out, people asking Justin to talk about Charlie Kirk. Justin Bieber is Canadian. Why does he have to speak on an American social media influencer? Y'all are nuts. Absolutely. And it's like, yeah, why y'all want people to just speak out on somebody y'all like so bad? If you like the person, fucking like them. You use your social media platform to spread the word. Or is it because you only got two people that follow you on social media that you think like your reach isn't large enough? I got over 10,000 people that follow me over there on Facebook. So I know my reach. And I almost got 3,000 on YouTube. So I know my reach. Although people try to come in, only 9 people watch their video. Well, bitch, it blew up since then. So thank you for the free promotion, ho. When the people come in your comments and try to think that they ate what they read. But it's like, but you're a blank page. I have no shame in showing what the fuck I look like because I stand on what the hell I say. Because I know this mouth reaches mountains and moves them every now and again. So, like I said, I don't understand when, like what the other people were saying. When did all of a sudden he become this guy that everyone, including celebrities, have to speak out on? And when did Justin Bieber and Charlie become brothers in Christ? Especially since Justin, who was from Canada, isn't even an evangelical Christian like Charlie was, because he was going through some whole phase of he was in the Hillsong and a bunch of other stuff. So I don't even know where Justin leans religious wise, nor do I care. Believe what you want to believe. Worship who you want to worship. It don't bother me no way. So I don't care. As long as you're not out here being mean and evil and hurting people with your beliefs and trying to force your beliefs on other people, you can worship a goddamn tree for all I care. I don't. So celebrities, as I was saying, look, they're not inclined to speak on things that they don't want to speak on. Plus, um, you know, with this whole situation, what we dealing with Jamie Lee Curtis, Selma Blair, Kristin Chenoweth, who we're about to get into, because Kristin basically was out here. She responded to the backlash that she was getting for what she said regarding Charlie Kirk, and she is speaking on it, especially the gay community, because who she advocates heavily for were disappointed with her statement. So we'll get into that in the next topic. But and don't even get me started on Jamie Lee Curtis. Shout out to Kayla Says. She did a whole how the internet fell out in love with Jamie Lee Curtis, which was a cackle. If you ever get a chance, I think she dropped it today. Definitely check that out. Look at me promoting other people. But yeah, it was a good one. So so, at the end of the day, while he does have a family, it should be and should be more concerned about protecting them instead of giving his opinion about a bigot. Justin, I feel like in my, opinion, I feel like he's doing the right thing by minding the business that pays him. He's got a whole lot going on. He's got to worry about Coachella, which I'm about to get into how much he actually negotiated for his Coachella deal that's coming up next year. So he's got a lot of things to go on. He just released two different versions of Swag, his new album. He's got this big Coachella situation coming up. He got a rich payday for it. So he's got more bigger things to worry about than y'all getting mad at him because he don't want to speak on somebody that you want him to speak on. When it's like, maybe he doesn't know a lot about Charlie Kirk. He ain't not even worrying about Charlie Kirk. That boy got a whole lot of other stuff he got to be worrying about, including his little ailments, his Ramsey Hunt, and dealing with his wife and the baby. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Should celebrities feel obligated to speak out? And then another thing is too, if y'all getting mad at him over this, I don't want to hear shit about y'all when other people say things about something that y'all don't like. Well, y'all need to keep y'all opinions. Like y'all get mad at celebrities when they speak out on politics or they speak out on current events. You need to just shut up and sing, shut up and dribble, shut up and play ball. Y'all say all of that crap. But when it comes to one of your people that you want celebrities to speak up on, then all of a sudden the rules will change, right? Okay. I just want to know where we at because y'all just be consistent with the rules and stuff. So I'm just trying to keep up. Can you keep up, baby boy? But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. It's funny. It's like a phrase will pop in my head, and all of a sudden I'll break out in a song. Okay, as you said, I think the powers that be are so in their fishbowl that they don't foresee or care for the backlash. So the view could very well be on the chopping block. Yeah, they don't. Until the backlash is so severe, then they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, what do we do?" And be like, "It's too late." I was watching about golf culture, the scapegoat for the '90s today, and found out Justin Bieber baptized. He did what? Yeah, Marilyn Manson definitely was a scapegoat of the '90s and the 2000s because, especially when it came to the whole Columbine thing, they blamed him. They blamed him for that whole thing, and of course, because that was my generation, we was all like, "What?" You was looking at them like they lost their mind. If I had a public platonic relationship with Charlie Kirk, I would say something publicly. If I didn't, I would mind my business and say a prayer for his family. Yeah, that's why I said mind the business that pays you. If it don't apply, let it fly. All right, y'all. So now, speaking of Justin Bieber, we got more Justin Bieber news. Wait, where did that thing go? It was like I lost it. Oh, I got it. It was in the wrong place. Anyway, so take two in action. Justin Bieber. It looks like he is the highest paid act in Coachella history, even surpassing Beyonce with Baychella because, he's about to he negotiated on his own, they said, a big payday for him to work those 2 weekends at Coachella. So Justin Bieber scored a seven-figure deal to headline Coachella. Shout out to Rolling Stone for this tape. All without an agent, Rolling Stone has learned. The musician, who was announced Monday night as a headliner, worked directly with festival promoter Golden Voice to negotiate the terms of his slot. Well, I hope y'all working out the whole ticket thing because I heard that there's a big lawsuit that's going on between. Wait, let me see. I was like ticket lawsuit. I think was it Ticketmaster? Oh no, it was oh yeah. So it was Ticketmaster Live Nation. Yep, they all they facing a big lawsuit. I saw that earlier. So I hope y'all work that out. because I told y'all how much the damn tickets is going to be for Coachella. So they said U.S. regulators have sued Ticketmaster and its parent company Live Nation, accusing the companies of employing illegal ticket resale tactics and costing consumers millions of dollars in the process. So the Federal Trade Commission, along with 7 states, said the entertainment giant coordinated with brokers to buy concert tickets and ultimately sell those tickets at a substantial markup, profiting from huge resale fees. Oh, of course they've been doing that, and they'll probably win the lawsuit because I've been telling y'all they be doing that, especially with me working in the live entertainment industry. But anyway, let me get back to Justin because I know that's probably going to affect him down the line. So they said it's a groundbreaking move for a headliner, and it's something he built entirely on his own. This is according to a source close to Bieber. And they told us the Rolling Stone. They said between headlining Coachella and the success of Swag, it's clear this is the start of an exciting new era for Justin, one where he's fully in the driver's seat. So that means if he'd worked it without a manager, he gets to keep that manager's 10% because he negotiated it. He's basically, I guess, his own manager, and he gets to keep all that money, which basically is north of $10 million for the 2 weekends. So they basically it's obviously $5 million per weekend. I figure that's in line with previous payoffs for top line Coachella performer. However, Bieber won't have to siphon off an agency commission, like I just said, because um he went in and did it on his own, so he doesn't have to give commission to someone else. So they said Voice parent company AEG has been Bieber's touring partner for the entirety of his career. A rep for Golden Voice did not immediately respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment on the fee. Bieber's Coachella set will mark his first performance in the U.S. since 2022's Justice World Tour. Bieber is an unshakable artist who has stood up against the grain and fought for his independence, the source adds. His 2026 Coachella performance won't just be a headlining set, but a once in a generation spectacle from a once in a generation pop icon. Okay. Once in a generation pop icon? Y'all that was a reach. But Bieber's return to the stage comes after the release of Swag 1 and 2 albums, which featured hits Daisies and Yukon. The Swag project landed at number 4 on this week's Billboard 200, following Bieber's release of Swag 2. According to Monét, the 2 Swag albums were tallied as a reissue or one combined project, which propelled the release into the top 5. The label has not clarified, excuse me, it's 44 tracks in total, is being counted as a deluxe edition a la SZA's Lana, which tacked on new songs for her with her previous effort 2022's SOS, though there were 2 years in between. In social media posts, Bieber himself has referred to Swag 2 as a separate album, adding to the confusion. Well, according to them, it's not a separate album. They kind of combine them both. So an industry insider basically revealed they said it was the label's idea to combine the albums. Justin and his team wanted a second album right away and were gunning for a number one. It was a brilliant move in that it protected Justin in case of a chart drop, says the second source. But a rep for the label, Bieber signed a Def Jam, by the way, a unit of Republic Collective, says all credit is due to the singer, saying Justin Bieber and his team are the driving forces behind both albums and their rollouts. Rolling Stone previously reported that Bieber has 100% creative freedom on Swag. He was able to be his true, authentic self and didn't have any additional voices trying to steer him in a certain direction. This is the purest version of Justin we've ever seen musically. And and then of course y'all probably know who's also going to be joining him on Coachella, which would be Sabrina Carpenter, Karol G, and Anima or Anima. I don't know who that is, as I told y'all yesterday. So excuse me. Excuse me. So congratulations to you, Justin. I'm glad that after all these years and you playing the game and people telling you what to do with your music, that you finally found a way to be your true authentic self and express yourself as you need to be expressed. And it'll be interesting to see how you're gonna put this uh Coachella situation together because I don't know, with all his sicknesses and things of that nature, I don't know if Justin's willing to kind of put himself out there to be like, I'm ready for a tour in the ways of like a Justin Timberlake was, or any of his other fellow peers, where they go on tour for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, sometimes a year, maybe even 2 years. But I don't know if he'll be willing to do that, especially with him being sick and all. So I guess the Coachella performance will be, I'm making my $10 million, and if y'all want see what a swag tour be, that'll would have been what it will be. It will be the Coachella sets. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Justin Bieber making 5 million per show for 2 weeks of doing, you know, Coachella? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Hmm. All right. So now let's see what the people are saying. That's what I say. It's like if you're just walking on stage the whole time, I'll be very disappointed. Yes, my once in a generation. There's so many artists out there that are of his generation that are way better performers. Ariana Grande is a better performer than Justin Bieber, and they're about the same damn age. So we're not going to do that. All right. You know what? I'm probably gonna scratch this. I was like, should I scratch the Eileen Davidson story? Because she ain't said nothing bad. Kind of like from before on what I was saying regarding well, it would be short and to the point. We'll just do it. We'll pipe through the damn show. I'm not gonna do no edits. I don't know. It's like I feel like I hope I'm not getting a cold again. All right, y'all. So let's get back into the show and let's get into this topic. Let's talk about Eileen Davidson, who was a former Real Housewife and a soap star, who may know from shows like I believe she was on the Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, things of that nature. So, hold on, because now the damn story keeps jumping. I don't know why. All right, so Eileen Davidson from Bravo's The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is facing intense backlash from social media users after sharing a controversial post about right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, who was pow-powed last week in Utah. So, like I said, she didn't really say anything bad. I don't know why they're running around here trying to create, but I guess with anybody who says something that they don't like, they want to come with this fake outrage. So she said, just for the record, people, I never in 1 million years would celebrate the assassination of anybody ever. And this is what she had to say because she was feeling like people were twisting her words. And what she said was, I am not in support of what happened to Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk was in support of what happened to Charlie Kirk. So people were pissed off about that. It's about delete this. And she was like, I said what I said. And like I said, she didn't say anything bad. Where well, she said, I stand by my post, sweetie. And she's on the Young and the Restless, by the way. And she's always been someone who's been very outspoken regarding, against conservative politicians, Donald Trump particularly, that sort of thing. And she didn't say anything bad because she was like, I don't condone what happened to Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk was responsible for what he said, which I'm saying is what she was referring to was accountability, taking accountability for the things that you say and what you put out there in the world. If you sit out there and you put out violence, if you incite violence, if you say that people should die by a gun just so that we can keep the Second Amendment, which the Second Amendment is not about just having a gun so you can go out and shoot people. It's about the right to bear arms. And there's way more to that besides that line. So when you put that kind of negative energy out there, and I'm a truly believer of exchanging of energy. When you put negativity out in the world, it comes back, which is why I've always tried to make it my mission or my commission, or however you want to say it. I always make it a way for me to spread positive energy or not to engage in negative stuff. I just dust that shit over and keep it moving. Now, if you push me to the point, I'm gonna cuss your ass out until you walk away crying. But for the most part, I always try to find the silver lining and just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna let this mess get to me because you don't want to allow people to take you out of your character. So that's what she was saying. And I don't know why it's so hard for people to just look at it as two things can be true at the same time. While we don't sit out here and condone violence, we should also not be blind to the fact that when you perpetuate extreme things, you shouldn't be surprised by the outcome of what happens. So I don't think she said anything bad. I don't know why people were going in and making a big deal out of it. And so, yeah, there's that. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Eileen Davidson getting backlash over, her saying what she said about Charlie Kirk, which, like the whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel, I don't even think what she said was bad. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's talk about Kristin Chenoweth, who got a bit of a lashing, particularly from the libidiqua, as in, also queer, LGBTQ community, because of what she said regarding Charlie Kirk, and it seemed like she was more or less on his side. But um basically, I think a lot of times when people look at, well, we all know that Kristin Chenoweth is a Christian. She's always labeled herself as such. So I think she was coming at it from that standpoint, but maybe she should have looked at more of who he was before coming to that conclusion. So Kristin Chenoweth sparked some big reactions from her followers last week after she responded to the killing of conservative political commentator Charlie Kirk. Shortly after he was pronounced unalive, Chenoweth left a comment on Kirk's last Instagram post saying, "I'm so upset, didn't always agree, but appreciate some perspectives. What a heartbreak. His young family, I know where he is now, heaven but still." And when you said, didn't always agree, but appreciated some perspectives, people want you to elaborate. Like, what do you mean? What perspectives did you agree with him on? Are you saying that you are racist? Do you have issues with the queer people, especially when you put yourself out here as this staunch Christian who advocates for the queer community? That and a lot of marginalized communities are already fragile as it is. When you look at a lot of when they tend to put a lot of celebrities in the context of them putting celebrities on a pedestal and finding out that the people you revere and you put up on this pedestal as your heroes turn out to be bigots, turn out, the ones that like to show up at the pride events and want to sing and dance for that money, but then talk about us bigots behind the scenes. We seen Kaya, and you know how they be doing with the what do you call it, black pride and things of that nature. We've seen this happen time and time again. So that's why I think people were side-eyeing Kristen. Because like, oh, don't tell me you one of those. That you've been out here trying to act like you a Christian woman who loves the gays, but you low-key don't like us. But you're gonna continue to take our money. She takes money when I'm in need. But anyway, so in a new interview with Spectrum News New York 1, Chenoweth sat down with onstage host Frank Delela, who asked her about the backlash she received, especially from the Levitical community for her comments regarding Kirk. She smiled and wiped away tears, apologized for getting emotional, and then said, "I saw what happened online with my own eyes, and I had a human moment of reflection. Just right then, I came to understand that my comment hurt some folks, and that hurt me so bad. I would never." She added, "It's no secret that I'm a Christian, that I'm a person of faith. It's also no secret that I'm an advocate for the LGBT Levitical community. And for some, that doesn't go together. But for me, it always has and always will." Christian sparked some big reactions from her followers last week after she responded to the killing. Um, oh wait, so is it repeating? Oh, I think it's so they wanted to say Chenoweth is gearing up for a stint on the new Broadway show, The Queen of Versailles, based on the 2012 documentary of the same name. The documentary followed Jackie Siegel, a former beauty queen who married a billionaire and wants to build a home in Florida modeled after the Palace of Versailles. The show will feature music from the Wicked composer Stephen Schwartz, who is also serving as a producer. The Queen of Versailles will mark Chenoweth's first headlining role in a musical since her run on on the 20th century back in 2015. She'll star alongside the White Lotus star F. Murray Abraham, with previews begin on October 8th. So, yeah, she had to get ahead of this because this might affect them sales over there in Broadway. But I still, based off the article, I don't think, did we even get an answer as to what she meant by, did they even ask her what perspectives did you didn't always agree on some of the stuff he said, but you understood some perspectives? I wish that whoever was there, they would have elaborated on that, because inquiring minds want to know. Like, what do you mean? Nico, what do you mean? No, I'm just playing. What did you mean by that? Because I want to know. Like, I like really go in and let have on that. But I ain't see that in Out's article, so I guess they didn't ask. But that's why y'all, a lot of y'all, before y'all had these knee jerk reactions and jump online just because y'all want to be a part of a moment, y'all really need to think long and hard about who, like, how, what y'all, who y'all get behind and the things y'all write on a page, because we may not know what the context of it was when you were writing it. You only know in your heart and in your mind on what you were meaning when you wrote what you wrote. But when we read something that you wrote, we don't know what the context and of that is. We can't hear what you were writing because we're not in your brain. So you got to be more specific with that. But I'm still side eyeing you, Kristin. I like you, but I'm gonna still give you the side eye. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Kristin responding to the outrage over Charlie Kirk's comments? I know she feels bad because the queer community, whatever the case is, but that's why I keep telling y'all, think before y'all speak. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, I saw the whole David Letterman, Jimmy Kimmel situation earlier. Probably. Does she think Hitler went to heaven? I appreciate Charlie for his perspectives as well. I can respect him for being a passionate conservative. Doesn't mean I agree with everything he said. I don't think Christian is secret. I don't think she's MAGA either. Um, Oh yeah, well he could be passionate. He was wrong in a lot of what he was passionate. I mean, I'm passionate about shit too, but I don't know if I agree with that. But someone said when Laura, not when Laura Bush went to see Wicked, and she told some people to not act as gay. What? Wait, they said Kristen told people not to act as gay around. Don't be doing that. And I wonder, like, if do they comply? Because I would have gave her the side eye. I was like, I'm coming in the room, cat, 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 oh, cat, 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 shabam. Like, I'm doing all of that. Don't tell me not to do something, because I'll put it on even worse. Like, I will embarrass you. I want to see your ass turn beet red. I even want to see that platinum blonde, roots that you had done recently turn beet red. I want to see your scalp in between, the part in your head turn beet red with the embarrassment. Don't tell me not to act a certain way around certain somebody. Because if you're gonna come into a show that has a lot of homosexuals in it and a lot of people in the room who might be homosexual, not just tourists, then don't come to my show. Sailor Mermaids in the building. All right, y'all. So let's get back into the show. And so let's go from Justin Bieber to another JB. And that be Baldoni, who it looks like he's adding more to his legal team. He got Diddy's lawyer. So he's beefing up his legal team. So shout out to him. Blake about to shit a brick with this team. So let's get into her. So, according to court documents obtained by Us Weekly, a notice of appearance was filed on Monday, September 15th. The paperwork notified the court that lawyer Alexander Shapiro would be joining as counsel for Baldoni, 41, and Wayfarer Studios. The notice was filed by Shapiro. Shapiro is a New York-based criminal defense attorney who has represented the Diddler Holmes, and FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. Before co-founding her firm, Shapiro served as a clerk for the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Oh, he's in good hands then. Now, Us has reached out to Baldoni for comment. Of course, he hasn't said anything. Now, Baldoni and Lively's legal drama began in December 2024. Why is it like we are literally 2 years almost into this shenanigans? And I believe that their trial begins in like March or April of 2026. And we're in freaking September still. The actress 37 accuser, it ends with Us, co-star and director of harassment of the sexual kind, creating a hostile work environment and running a smear campaign against her. Baldoni vehemently denied the allegations. Baldoni subsequently countersued Lively and accused her of attempting to smear his name. His lawsuit was dismissed by Judge Louis J. Lyman in June. And while Lively got the legal win at the time, her lawsuit against Baldoni remains ongoing. The pair are scheduled to head to trial. Okay, so it's May 2026. I was close enough. I said March or April, when it was actually the next month. They said the court decision on the motion to dismiss has no effect whatsoever on the truth that there was no harassment nor any smear campaign, and it does not in any way affect our vigorous defense against Ms. Lively's claims. This is according to Baldoni's attorney, who they said that in a statement at the time. Discovery is processing, and we are confident that we will prevail against these factually baseless accusations. Instead of revisiting the existing claims, our clients will be pursuing additional legal options that are available to us. So they said Lively was deposed by Baldoni's lawyers in New York City in July as Baldoni's team, began preparing for their trial. And Baldoni was present for the deposition, while I guess she wasn't. And they said that we are very pleased with the outcome of her deposition and now look forward to deposing Justin Baldoni and each of the co-defendants in short order. And this is what a spokesperson for Lively previous said in a statement. So now they said earlier this month, news broke that an additional person came forward against Baldoni. According to court documents obtained by Us, the person whose name was redacted accused Baldoni of verbal abuse and claimed that the actor was not permitted on set during the majority of production as a result of those experiences. The accuser could potentially serve as a witness against him in his and Lively's upcoming trial. Well, if that's the case, there needs to be proof of that. Where, um, so if he was being verbally abusive and he was not permitted on set, there needs to be witnesses that you are aware of that could go on public record and say this was happening. Hence how a lot of us know for public record that Bryan Singer, who has directed a lot of movies, at Pupil, the X-Men movies, he sort of directed Bohemian Rhapsody and got kicked out because he was a nuisance and wasn't showing up to work. So this is all common knowledge and things that we know of based off of insiders in the industry. Then there has to be people that are aware of what Justin did to whoever this person that's speaking out and came forward is talking about. And Blake, there needs to be people that was there that witnessed all of this. But we know just Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds are sort of like the quarterback and the cheerleader of Hollywood. They like to just stomp around with their power and their little attitudes or whatever, acting like they run shit. So I don't put nothing past them. Maybe they're both monsters. Who knows? But I know, like, for the most part, more people are leaning more Team Baldoni than they are Blake Lively. They don't even care if maybe he might be guilty of this stuff. They just think that she's a despicable woman. A lot of people don't like her. And unfortunately, people's bias towards her, I feel like even if she were to walk away winning this case and Justin's career is ruined, I feel like her career is done too. Like people ain't really featuring her like that. Girl, you just need to stay home, keep birthing lion babies, and raise all them kids because your movies don't make no damn money. Except, yeah, that It Ends With Us movie, it did make money, and I feel like it had to do it because it was on Netflix, and also because a lot of people, because of the controversy, I think it got people curious to wanting to watch it. So yeah, that's the latest on Justin Baldoni. I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of him hiring Diddy's attorneys to represent him? As an expansion in his upcoming trial. I think it's going to be for an interesting watch. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You have to compare, and I'm in the building too. Mhm. Not the mermaids. Her half sister is, oh, child, don't I know it? Shit. There's Robin Lively, there's Eric Lively. There was another Lively brother. The whole family acted. I think her brother was a Night of the Creeps. I actually like that movie. I don't know what's going on with my camera. The wire keeps like moving or causing the camera to move. Now it's a little too high. Much better. You know. Okay, so now let's get back into the show. All right, y'all. So now let's talk about Adele, who, they were talking about that might be Taylor Swift and all this other stuff that's going on. But according to the blogs, that would be, I saw it on the Mirror. I also saw it on page 6, that rumor has it that Adele, I couldn't resist doing that, might be in talks to be headlining the Super Bowl in 2026. So the rumors are swirling that Adele could take the field for the big game in Santa Clara, California next February, and we hear she's been in talks. This is page 6, by the way. But there's also been buzz. Halftime candidates also include number one Kansas City Chiefs fan Taylor Swift, as well as Party in the USA singer Miley Cyrus, who has never played that high profile gig. Adele's fiance, Rich Paul, is one of sports' biggest agents, and the British crooner has attended the Super Bowl before as a fan. But she quipped at a Las Vegas gig to her fans in 2024 of her being in the stands, saying, "Last year I went, obviously I didn't go for the football at all. I went to watch Rihanna." Well, the one thing I love about Adele, she gonna tell you the damn truth. It's like I don't know nothing about y'all American sports. I went to go see Riri, who, by the way, I heard from one of our watchers that Riri had the baby. Although I haven't seen any major reports talking about that she had the kid. Um, she also said before the game of at a live show, "I'm going just for Rihanna. I don't give a flying fuck." Either way, NFL insiders have been buzzing that Adele is this year's pick to play the gig, but another source close to the show says Adele has not been officially booked. The Hello singer has said that she previously turned down the gig in 2017. She told the Los Angeles crowd in 2016, "First of all, I'm not doing the Super Bowl. I mean, that show is not about music. I can't dance or anything like that. They were very kind. They did ask me, but I did say no." But the NFL and sponsor Pepsi denied the claim at the time by commenting, "We have had conversations with several artists about the Pepsi Super Bowl halftime show. However, we have not at this point extended a formal offer to Adele or anyone else." The performer is chosen by, y'all, as y'all know, Jay-Z's Rock Nation in partnership with the NFL and is usually announced in September. Earlier this month, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell hinted at the prospect of Swift taking the stage. He told Savannah Guthrie on NBC's Today of Swift is a special, special talent, and obviously she would be welcome at any time. So here's the thing. Do I think that it's Adele? No. Number one, I don't understand why y'all would want Adele to sing at the Super Bowl. Like, y'all want to keep no shade. I love her voice. Amazing singer. Y'all want to go to sleep during halftime? Like, I like Adele, great voice, but her music is like melatonin to me. Like, you just standing there, and I know she do way more than Mariah Carey when she on that stage. I like that she's got the gift of gab, and she likes the banter, and she swears and all this stuff. I live for the Cockney accent. However, when it comes to her catalog, I need a little 1-2 step going. And I know she could probably do "Celebrate to My Lover" or whatever, how the lyrics go. She could do a little sway back and forth or 1-2 step. Um, but our music very much is like very soothing and relaxing. Child, I would rather see Kali Uchis up there before I see an Adele. But do I think who I think that should do it? I would like to see Miley actually do it. She can mix in all kinds of different. I mean, she does so many different genres. Do I think she's going to do it this year? I can't see that. I mean, if she does, then okay. But um, hell, I would love to see Madonna do it again because Madonna has a new album coming out. And we're gonna get into that. That's the next topic. Madonna has a new dance record coming out. So why not have her come back and do the Super Bowl one more time? But I do feel like because Taylor Swift, I believe, did say that if she got her masters and all that other stuff, then she would do the Super Bowl. So I would love to see Taylor Swift finally do it because she's the biggest star in the world. She's Miss Americana. Everybody likes her. The little kids will live and eat it up. And I think she would be an interesting choice. But as far as Adele, as much as I like Adele, no, I can't see it happening. Her performing or being the headline of the Super Bowl. I mean, bad enough y'all critiqued Kendrick Lamar for not being exciting enough. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you believe that these rumors that Adele could be in talks to play the 2026 Super Bowl halftime? And if not Adele, who would be your choice that you would like to see up there? Me, I've been saying I would either like. I mean, I don't mind if Taylor Swift gets up there. I'm not a Swiftie, but if she got up there and performed, I mean, I'll watch it. I'll check it out because, of course, media. But I would like to see Miley. I would love to see Pink get up there. Like Pink is a stadium performer through and through. Great voice, still physically active. She likes to fly around the damn stadium. So why not? Um, or as I said before, Madonna. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, so now, it's funny. Like I didn't even read your comment, and you said, "Let Madonna have it again." But you said, "I don't know why they pick her. That's gonna be." That's what I said. Like Adele, I don't think Adele should do it. I heard Miley was also asked. They've been saying Taylor is gonna be doing it now, and she owns her masters. Yeah, that's what I said. She should do it. It's a lot. They got a lot to choose from. Madonna should do it again, and that would be a good way to promote her new album since it's probably gonna come out around because it's supposed to be coming out in 2026. So that would be perfect. You want to know something? What if Madonna actually is doing it? I wasn't even thinking about that, but I'm like, what if Madonna is actually doing it? That'd be the perfect way to go about it. And y'all can't say, but she did it already. Beyonce did it more than once. So why can't Madonna do it more than once? So what, the rules don't apply because she married to the man that's running the whole halftime situation? Adele is popular, universally liked artist, so it makes sense. I would watch it. Not everything has to be oops oops. I mean, if it's with the Super Bowl, it probably has to be. Or then again, didn't Whitney Houston do the didn't Whitney Houston do the Super Bowl, or was it just a national anthem? I could imagine. I would like to see Adele do a dance record. She has the pipes for it. I feel like the first two timer will be Beyonce because well, no, Beyonce's done it more than once. Oh, you said not. Oh, you talking about but wait, didn't she do? Are you talking about like just by herself? Because I think she didn't she bring Coldplay out or something? You said in the 2000s at the Janet, they had a bunch of classic rock artists. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's when they had, and then also remember when they had what was it, Aerosmith, and they brought out NSYNC and Britney, and she had the sock on her arm and all that other stuff. Okay, so it wasn't just a national anthem, and she lip synced that. But I think they all lip synced the national anthem. I don't know why when I say national anthem, I think Lana Del Rey. Like every time I think that, I be thinking that I be thinking about Lana Del Rey. Mhm. All right, y'all. So now since we've been talking about Madonna, let's talk about Santa. So I'm sure y'all all heard by now, but the Queen of Pop is coming back with a brand new album. Took a bunch of pictures where she looks youthful. She looks good. I know a lot of people was like, it's filter, it's this, it's that. I've seen Madonna without all the filters and stuff recently. Face card check. Like she's definitely looking youthful. She stopped looking like a damn blowfish with all the fillers and all the others. We did a whole story on uh Madonna and the whole filler situation and how since she's been with her new man, he's kind of been telling her, calamate on the fillers and looking crazy. Maybe she's done better at letting it settle. So yeah, let's get into it. So it was announced earlier today. Well, yeah, we still got 5 minutes, almost midnight over here for me doing the show. But earlier today, this morning, and that would be the 18th of September, Thursday, she announced that she will return in 2026 with a new dance album. And this is according, a Rolling Stone could exclusively reveal, but it's been revealed everywhere. Even Warner Brothers revealed it. And not only that, speaking of Warner Brothers, she's reunited with the label that launched her superstar career, which would be Warner Records. Sorry. The new album, as Madonna has previously teased, is expected to be a follow up to her 2005 album, Confessions on a Dance Floor. In late 2024, she did reveal that she was back in the studio with Stuart Price and basically teased the fans with Confessions too. And I know she doesn't like to go backwards, but ma'am, there's only been so many genres you could tackle. And I feel like at this day and age, dance music is kind of becoming more of a thing. Like even Demi Lovato's about to release a dance record. So dance music, I mean, even though it hasn't gone anywhere, it is a big deal right now. And why not go into that? And I feel like maybe that's that retro that what is it, cyber futuristic section of the celebration tour may have kind of inspired her to do a dance record. So they said, yeah, the new album, when it comes out, will mark Madonna's first album since 2019's Madam X. That will make 7 years since she's released a record. And that might be a record. That might be the longest she's taken to release an album. And you know what? In a way, I'm kind of glad that she's taken a bit of a break where she just took her time to want to put a record out rather than, oh, I need to go into the studio and I need to create a record and I need to feed the beast. Because I feel like, and I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like when she left Warner Brothers and did that whole Rock Nation, um, not Rock Live Nation deal, and she was with Interscope, I feel like her music suffered. I feel like a lot of those people over there did not know what to do with her. They didn't know how to. They didn't know what her work ethic was or how she did things. And I feel like Warner understood her. She had a relationship with them. She's been with them since the beginning of her career. I think Sire Records was a part of Warner, if I'm not mistaken. So she has that rapport with them. They understand how she works. So for her going back home after almost 2 decades of not being over there with them, because I feel like the last record, if I'm not mistaken, she did with them was Confessions. So why not kind of give us a sequel of sorts? And then they also said just as notable as the new album is the fact that Madonna will be releasing it on Warner Records, where she spent the first 25 years of her career. And then she went on to say the following as I do a picture change. From being a struggling artist in New York City to signing a record deal to release just 3 singles, it seemed at the time my world would never be the same again. And in fact, that couldn't have been truer. This is what she said in a statement. Since the beginning, Warner Brothers has been a real partner with me. I'm happy to be reunited and look forward to the future, making music, doing the unexpected while perhaps provoking a few needed conversations. Well, you know she's gonna do that because even with the confessions on the dance floor, while we were dancing and having a good time, and she was experimenting with a lot of different, like it was French house and a lot of disco, some synths and all that synth pop, that all that mixed in there. The latter half of the record does go more into it takes more of a deeper turn and it asks she gets more into spirituality. She talks about a lot of deeper things. And Madonna is not some surface pop star. She is someone who likes to provoke at times and to ask deep questions and provoke conversations and things of that nature. So we can't be surprised when if she's gonna if there's gonna be layers added to, there's gonna be a little more than just surface level dance music that a lot of artists tend to give. So Madonna signed her first label deal in '82 with, as I stated before, so I was correct, with Sire Records, a Warner subsidiary. While under the major label's umbrella, she released some of the biggest albums of her career, including 1985's Like a Virgin, 1989's Like a Prayer, and 1998's Ray of Light, and started an imprint of her own, Maverick Records, which we got a lot of artists from that because we got um who was on there? Alanis Morissette, which is like one of her biggest talents. We have The Prodigy. which, change your pitch up, smack my bitch up. I still live for that music video. I remember I had to stay up till I had to stay up and wait till midnight and sneak and watch it because they had titties and everything up in there. Yeah, it was controversial seeing videos like that in the 2000s. Like you wasn't seeing nudity and the vomit and all kind of naked body and all this other stuff. And sex, people having sex with like in this. I'm like, what? But yeah, they pushed for that, and I guess being under Madonna, she was always pushing for artistic expression, and she really seemed like one of the rare artists who pushed her talent that was on her label and not making it all about her. Wasn't Michelle Cello on that label too? It's a couple of talents that she had on Maverick Records that I loved. I was trying to think of one that I can't remember all of them anyway, but if y'all remember, put it in the comments. So there was a Madonna's deal with Warner ended. Oh, it ended with 2008's Hard Candy. That was the last one. After she signed a 360 contract with Live Nation that included a 3-album deal with Interscope, a Universal Music Group subsidiary. Interscope has released Madonna's most recent LPs: 2012 MDNA, 2015's Rebel Heart, and 2019's Madam X. Which some people would say with MDNA, it was basically dated EDM. 2015's Rebel Heart, although it has some pretty good songs on there, in my opinion, it was all over the place. It was just over. It was just. It was a bit bloated, in my opinion. And Madam X, kudos for reaching for the stars and really pushing with your artistic expression. But I feel like it's just not a. It's a record that it's like I guess I got to be burning some incense and I got to smoke some weed in order to you know get into it. I gotta get in the mood for Madam X. So in 2020, Madonna left Interscope, and the following year, she announced the first part of her plan to return to Warner Records. Most notably, the deal ensured that Madonna's catalog would exist in one place, allowing her to bring her 3 Interscope albums to Warner in 2025. So basically, all her previous 3 albums, MDNA, Rebel Heart, and Madam X, are now under the Warner imprint. So she's got all that. Now, I wonder if she owns her masters with all that. So yeah, so she tweeted out almost 2 decades later, and it feels like home with Warner Brothers. Back to music, back to the dance floor, back to where it all began. COADF Part 2, 2026 at Warner Records. I don't think that's the actual name of the album because damn, I hope I didn't delete it. Because there was somebody that was giving some inside tea. Hold on. Let me see if I wait, let me see if I still have it. Hopefully I do. Mm, mm, If I don't, it'll be a bummer. But yeah, I don't think I got it up in here. But they were like giving some behind the scenes tea on what the record sounds like. I've been hearing conflicting reports because one moment said like the first single sounds like it samples Rhythm as a Dancer. And then it was another rumor that was going around that said that she samples Chic's Dance, 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 Yowza, Yowza, Yowza. So I think like with there's probably trying like with the sequel of Confessions on the Dance Floor, where remember the first single Hung Up sampled Gimme 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 a Man After Midnight by ABBA. So they're thinking like with the new single, they want to kind of be, oh, it's a sequel to it of sorts. So we do want to have one of those songs that samples a classic track like we did with the other thing. And remember, in the past, Madonna has worked with Nile Rodgers on some music. So even if she samples, I wonder if she actually called them up and was like, yeah, come in the studio, play bass or do whatever. And they worked it out that way. But I also want to read this one. So yeah, so Warner Records posted this. Welcome back home, Madonna. Or as I like to say, Madonna. And then they went and said, at Madonna isn't just an artist, she is the blueprint, the rule breaker, the ultimate cultural juggernaut. We are honored to welcome Madonna, the best selling female artist of all time with over 400 million albums sold, back home to Warner Records for her highly anticipated upcoming new dance album. The signing represents a historic full circle moment, one that brings her back to the label where it all began and reaffirms her unparalleled influence, setting the stage for an excited new era of creativity and impact. And of course, the one person said, "We fans are so happy to see that you welcome Madonna back home with open arms. Finally, a record company that will treat her as a priority, not a burden." Um, and as somebody said, make some room because the Queen of Pop is back. Okay, so this is great news, and I'm excited for it, but yeah, let's get through the rest of the article. So, of Rolling Stone's articles, remember they had the exclusiveness. Now, while no mention of new music was made at the time, it was revealed that Madonna's Warner return would involve a massive reissue campaign in 2022, coinciding with the 40th anniversary of the start of her recording career. She released a massive compilation, Finally Enough Love, featuring remixes of her 50 number one singles. This past July, she released Veronica Electronica, a Ray of Light remix album that had been shelved 27 years ago. But people also felt that y'all dropped the ball with Veronica Electronica because it felt like it was a bit tacked on. So people weren't really um liking the idea that um basically the rollout of Veronica Electronica. Me personally, I was like, yeah, I was a little disappointed, but I already owned all the songs, so I didn't feel I wasn't that upset like everybody else was. Now the question remains, I'm really curious is like what influences they use, what type of music. Because remember when she did her what was it, her 50 question situation? I'm definitely curious um what because remember she said she wanted to do house music. So I'm curious as to what type of house music they're gonna be doing. So yeah, I'm excited for this new record. Congratulations, Donta. I'm really excited for the new music. Can't wait to see what you guys. And they also said, oh yeah, that was another thing too. They were saying that yeah, there are other collaborators that were on the record, but for the most part, the head producer is Stewart. And one of the things I've noticed about Stewart when he's worked with many people in the past, particularly Kylie Minogue, because I remember when Kylie Minogue did Aphrodite, the main producer wasn't necessarily Stuart Price. They had other people that came in. Stewart came in and basically steered the ship in the right direction. So he helped steer everything where it needed to be. And then producers aren't only just beat makers, even though Stewart is talented and he plays all kinds of instruments. He's a phenomenal DJ, Jacques Lucan and so many other, what does he call himself? Thin White Duke also. The same thing as David Bowie used to call himself. He has different names for himself or whatever. So he's been making music and DJing. And I remember I listened to a lot of his lay rhythm digital. I used to listen to a lot of Stewart stuff back in the day. And I thought he was French. But no, he's British when he called him lay rhythm digital. So um, I think maybe what he did was they had other people coming in with ideas and different sounds and may have worked with her and some stuff. I wonder if they even used some of the sessions from Max Martin. And then Stewart kind of just took over, excuse me, whatever they were working on. Because remember, Max worked with Taylor on the Life of a Showgirl record. So um I wonder if they took a lot of those sessions and brought that over. I hope whoever interviews her asks that question. What happened with those songs? Because at one point you were working with Max Martin. So, yeah, congratulations, Madonna. I can't wait to hear the new music. Hopefully, the single will be releasing by the end of the year. And then by 2026, we get the album, which is a bummer because this year was the 20th anniversary of Confessions on the Dance Floor. So it would have been smarter to release it this year. But I guess because they said that she was 99% done with the record that they're still working on some things and it won't be ready in time for 2025. So, take your time if you need to perfect the record and make it what it is. But so I'm looking forward to hearing the album. I can't wait to see what this new era is gonna bring. Can't wait to see the videos. Can't wait to hear the music. And I'm starting to think like, you know what? When the album is released, I think we should do like a Donta Confessions 2 release party on this channel, or maybe I'll have to create like what do you call, like a Patreon or something, so that way I could go over there because I don't know if YouTube will flag it. And we'll sit and listen to all the songs and we'll break it down and all the other stuff. All the Madonna fans will come up in here and we'll just kiki for about an hour or two. So I say all this to say, let me know if that's an idea I want to do. So, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Madonna getting back with Warner Brothers? Even though we already knew that this was cooking and in the works, she made it official today that She signed on the dotted line. She's back home with her former label, and word on the curb is they're pretty much happy with what they've heard so far with the new music. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. We said, now her man telling her. Okay. And you said, I wonder how many albums she signed on to do. That's a good question too, because it's like, yeah, you're back with Warner Brothers. So does that mean that you sign on the dotted line to do it? Like, how many records are we expecting? Is this a one album deal, or is it a multiple album deal? Like, choir minds want to know. So how many albums could we expect? So hopefully whoever interviews her asks her a lot of these questions. I don't think dance music is becoming a thing. Charlie is the only artist in that electronic dance field that has had mainstream success. Demi isn't getting success by copying. Well, some people out here saying she not copying Charlie. They just kind of got similar looks. Well, dance music will always be a worldwide universal situation. So yeah, Charlie was able to cross over, but um and there was somebody else that said that this is the dance floor that I fought for, and that they're the queen of the other girl. Please, you were not up in the clubs like I was, so stop them lies. You was in the bars doing your music. You was not up in the clubs, not the clubs that I was going to, where all the misfits and the club kids and stuff was doing. And you said Cyrus, yeah, Cyrus is part of Warner Brothers. It said that's why Warner Records. That's why people love Madonna, because she makes people think. She's not just gonna be getting, some bland pop star. I'm just gonna do controversial things for controversial sake. Like, I'm really doing these things. I'm using things that's happening in the world and incorporating it in my art, so that way you could actually like pay attention to what's going on. I think True Blue is my favorite Madonna album. That is a good record though. Was it like only 8 or 9 songs on it? Candlebox. Oh yeah, Candle. I was thinking about them too. Candlebox was on Maverick too. She had some other electronic groups too. One I liked called Baxter. That name does sound familiar. I'm not familiar with their music though. Since she got back with them, I wonder when we'll get the reissues we've been waiting for. Yeah, because they've been dropping the ball with the reissues. Or maybe what it is that the reissues didn't come because she was working out the deal with Warner Records. Now that it's official, they can start working out getting those reissues out there where they sound like they're in Dolby Atmos, rejigging up her music videos, because I heard people complaining they're not in HD over on YouTube. So like making her videos look fresh and new. They reconfigured everybody else's videos. Debbie Gibson is still promoting herself at 55 on Very Delta. Oh yeah, I did see that she had an interview on Very Delta. I didn't watch it though. He said, I love Little Debbie, but I would rather I s- Felix said he saw it. I swear Debbie still thinks she's in the 90s. Child, a lot of them be in a time damn warp. Especially like Corey Feldman, who's currently on Dancing with the Stars. I heard his dancing was bad though. I did hear that. What's his name? Robert Irvin's son. He's doing really well over there. I'd love for her to sample Sylvester, since she has sampled Donna Summer and the Pet Shop Boys before on Confessions. Yeah. Well, the Pet Shop Boys was the Sorry remix, right? I think they even remixed one of the Sorry remix, or jumped on it. Because I remember what's his name? Neil Tennant was singing on it, which I loved. I definitely would love to have her sample Sylvester. Or yeah, or kind of have that type of vibe. This might mean Madge is doing something special for the 20th anniversary. Oh, she might. I hope she does, and give us like some songs that were kind of like unreleased and added to it. I was listening to Cardi song with Janet. I knew it. And you said it's a sample, and Cardi rapping isn't that good over. Quiet as this kid. A lot of her raps ain't good over a beat, but I knew it was a damn sample. Veronica Electronica. Oh, I know that queen. He also calls himself Jacques Lucan. Jacques is a cunt. The movie deal too. Oh yeah. So I wonder if Warner Brothers is actually going to step up and do the movie instead of um Universal. Because look, I just heard, and I actually think they would be a much better fit than the morons over there at Paramount. I do not want Paramount to buy Warner Brothers. Word on the street is Netflix is throwing their hat in the ring to accumulate Warner Brothers. Wouldn't mind Netflix jumping on that. And plus, Madonna has a collaboration coming with Netflix. So, damn, what's his name? The director of Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh yeah, you definitely hear West End Girls. Now I think about it. For Jump, I do love West End Girls. That is one of my favorite songs from them. I like a lot of their, but I am a Pet Shop Boys fan. I like a lot of my British pop. But yeah, they did do backup on the remix they did for Sorry. That's what I was thinking about. I remember I bought that maxi single. But anyway, let's move on with the show and let's talk about Jay-Z. So as y'all probably have heard, Jay-Z has been really pushing to get a casino built, in the heart of Times Square. So, backed by Caesar's Palace, Jay-Z's Rock Nation, and building owner SL Green Realty will not be moving forward per a vote this morning by the project's Community Advisory Committee. That's the CAC. So, yeah, they've been fighting for a while to try to get a casino built out here, and they were like, no, it'll be a disaster if that actually happens. So on Wednesday, September 17th, the state's six-member Community Advisory Committee denied the proposal with a 4-2 vote per numerous sources. Those four nay votes came from reps for Manhattan Borough President Mark Levin, State Senator Liz Kruger, Assemblyman Tony Simone, and Councilman Eric Botcher, while the governor and mayor appointees stood in support with a yay. Well, of course, that Eric Adams would be for it, fucking capitalist. Following the decision, SL Green CEO Mark Holliday reportedly blasted the naysayers, saying, "Go run and hide. You have to live with that history forever." Okay, whatever, child. So now Eric Botcher said this, where this was his statement on September 17th in regards of the casino license applications for Caesar's Palace, Times Square, and the Avenir. He said, following countless conversations with constituents in coffee shops, living rooms, and on street corners, extensive public engagement, and careful deliberation, I have reached a decision not to support the two remaining casino license applications in Council District 3. This is not a decision I took lightly. All economic development opportunities deserve strong consideration. I believe casinos must clear a particularly high bar, requiring a uniquely strong degree of community buy in before being cited in a neighborhood. Despite extensive outreach by the applicants, that level of support has not materialized. So, you're all running out here being all pissed off at these people that voted no. Did y'all actually go out there, you two that were for it, and you people and Jay and all of you? Did you actually go out there, or did you pull a Beyonce and you like to close the blinds and don't act like you want to be around people? So did y'all actually go and speak to the people in the neighborhood and ask them, like, what are the pros and cons of having a casino in the heart of Times Square, which Times Square is already congested as it is. It's already a clusterfuck of people that's walking around, particularly tourists. A lot of people trying to get around, getting to work. I'm sure police activity would increase because if you're going to build a casino out there, you got to worry about crime going up. If people coming out of a casino with money, they get held up or whatever. So all kinds of craziness going on. You got to worry about burglaries happening at these casinos. So the Broadway League and the No Times Square Casino Coalition have argued that plopping a gaming hub in the middle of Manhattan Theater District would destroy the magic that draws millions to Broadway every year. Richard Godfrey, former Manhattan Assemblyman, stated most residents of the area we heard from are opposed. The Broadway theater industry is adamantly opposed, and they make a strong case that a casino in this area would do major damage to that gem. There's lots of other places in the city where the casino could thrive. Now here he go. Al Sharpton with that old tight ass perm, who supported the plan, called the decision a missed opportunity, saying, "I was here for Jay-Z. Of course you were, because you're a capitalist." Sharpton told the Post, just like you were all for Governor Cuomo being the mayor until you realize it was inevitable. He was trailing way behind in the polls. Now you kissing Mom Donnie ass. Still can't even say the man name right. But then you recently did an interview with him where it's like you all supporting, but I still don't trust you, Al. Back in the day, yeah, he was a big component for black rights, but he's at a point in his life where he's done the activism. He's kind of chilling. He want to be a part of that whole MSNBC liberal hub. So he fighting, but he doing like this instead of like this. So, but he just giving a performance like he like this when he like this. So now, um, he basically said this. He said, "We haven't seen black ownership in the entertainment industry in Times Square. I was disappointed that they didn't break the color line." Well, look, can we stop now? Y'all gonna piss me off because now I feel like y'all on some DEI shit. Stop always trying to use being black as an excuse for, oh, well, you gotta. I thought we was gonna have some black excellence in the middle of Times Square. We was gonna make black history. I'm all for a black man being able to make moves and all this other stuff. But to me, when I'm looking, Jay is a capitalist, and I feel like this ain't gonna be trying to spread the wealth. And these people coming in with this casino, you're gonna lose more money than you gaining. But I guess that's the gamble, right? Now, meanwhile, Jason Lax, president of the Broadway League, celebrated the safeguarding of the culture and community, saying a vote to protect the magic of Broadway for the 100,000 New Yorkers who depend on it for their livelihoods and for the tens of millions who come from around the world to experience it. A casino can go anywhere, but Broadway only lives here. Well, that's y'all trying to gatekeep and keep everything else out. While Manhattan's been denied a casino, I should say, look into Queens because they talking about Queens still has a chance to secure one of the licenses. Now, hip hop icon Nas has teamed up with the Resorts World New York City on a $5 billion expansion plan for Aqueduct Park. If approved, their casino would become one of the largest in the world, featuring a 350,000 square foot floor, 3,000 units in workforce housing, and 50 acres of new park space. So I'm wondering that if they're talking about 3,000 units of workforce housing, does that mean that they're going to build apartment complexes and stuff? I'm not saying the projects. I'm saying apartment, like for housing or whatever. If you're going to be working at the casino, does that mean that I got to live on the premises? And when it comes down to it, because I'd be like, that wouldn't be something I wouldn't mind. Shit, I might actually apply for a at the casino if it boils down to it. So yeah, here's the video on Nas's page. I'm gonna mute it because I don't know if there's any music. But yeah, here he come. He's like, I'm jumping in the whole mogul space with the whole casino situation. So yeah, I'll have that in the background while that plays. Um, so yeah, now they're saying that Nas spoke of his new venture and called it a win for his community because he's from Queens. This is an ambitious project that will give new opportunities to the hardworking families who call Queens home, attract top tier talent, and build up the next generation of leaders. Clearly, with this project, the world is ours. Not you quoting one of your own songs. Well, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this? The world is yours, because that's from Scarface. But he managed to make it into a song. So now, unlike Times Square, Queens' community is back in the proposal. Community Board 10 Chair Betty Bratton praised Resorts World's track record, saying they have been with us in good times and tough times ever since, giving both financial support and their time to the community. I know this partnership will only continue. So look, the stakes are pretty much higher than ever with 6 casinos in the running and only 3 licenses on the table. So if Times Square don't work, I'm definitely here for the idea of Nas having this opportunity. Why not bring a Resorts World of Queens where they could definitely drive up revenue? You could bring business there. It also helps the economy and also gets it applies jobs for people to work in these casinos. Where you're working in the food and bev department, you need security officers, you need people who work the tables or whatever type of stuff. You need maintenance people, you need all kinds of people that can run this machine. And like I said, if the Ombudsman, when it's all built and it all goes through and all this other stuff, shit, I might apply for a job over there. I'm sure they make good money in these casinos. Or somebody let me know what the actual wage of working in a casino is. Inquirer Miles want to know, but I would hope that it would be a good amount of money. So I'm not here for the Times Square situation because, like I said, Times Square has enough stuff out there as it is. But Queens would be a better fit. And to be honest, I want to see uh Al Sharpton to have that same energy for Nas having his casino in Queens and being all there for black business ownership and excellence and all other stuff. Like you over here cooking for Jay-Z because Jay-Z Beyonce husband, right? So I want to hear from y'all in regards to this whole situation. I know I had actually a friend who has a small business that actually wanted the casino to happen, but thinking that it would help the small businesses in the neighborhood. But I always think like when you put something like a casino in that neighborhood, it might drive out business. So um I definitely want to hear from y'all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So now let's get into this John Murray story because there was a story that came out regarding him that um Sherry's best good Judy exited the top role at the syndicated TV show. According to Radar Online, they were saying all of that and they were saying that he quit without giving us a specific reason. I did the Radar Online article. You talking about y'all had exclusive reports. Child, I read that it was a damn nothing burger. So you didn't really give us anything to go on. But Rob Shooter over at his Substack had the tea. So, oh yeah, I got it. So let's get into her. So the Sherri Shepherd show was given executive producer John Murray, who was once Sherry's rock, her prayer partner, the prayer partner, and her closest and closet confidant, the job, after a bombshell sexual harassment accusation made it impossible for the network to protect him any longer. Sources tell #Shooter Scoop the firing came after a young producer accused Murray of harassment, but insiders insist this wasn't an isolated incident. They said it wasn't just one complaint. A staffer says this was years of bad behavior piling up. Well, child, he wasn't praying hard enough to keep him from being making the environment hostile at the workplace. Did they say what gender the person was? Because uh John give me homosexual tease, or is it just me? Oh, I can't be blind. I know my gaydar ain't broken. Now, crew members describe a hostile work environment where Murray's ego and temper ran the show. He belittled staff, screamed in meetings, even made Sherry's dressing room feel like a battlefield. He wanted to be the star, not Sherry. Now, adding fuel to the fire was Murray's bizarre viral video earlier this year where he ranted about race and bathroom habits, comments horrified viewers and sent executives scrambling. That was the moment people realized he wasn't just difficult, he was a liability. This is according to a tipster. For Sherry, it's a devastating personal loss. She's crushed, whispers a source. This wasn't her choice. It came from the very top. So here's the thing. Sherry, you working on that show and you knowing that your good Judy is toxic. So you was all for the toxicity? You didn't protect your people at work? Like how many times have we had conversations on this show where there are talk shows where people are saying that they're in a hostile work environment? We had to deal with it with Ellen DeGeneres. We was hearing some stuff allegedly about Kelly Clarkson and it being a hostile work environment on her show. And then she apologized and said that she wasn't aware of what was going on behind the scenes with stuff that was happening. So we keep constantly hearing these stories about hostile work environments on these talk shows. So you would think no next Sherry would know better. You think she would come out of the pavement and have her people's back. So you're gonna protect your friend over your staffers. And I don't even know how quiet it's kept. Why? How Sherry's still on? That show is a damn bore. She ain't funny. And I still, justice for Wendy. Yeah, I'm hating. So they also said, but some see a silver lining, saying now Sherry can shine without John's toxic shadow. Everyone is rooting for her to rise, one loyal crew member declares. Well, you know what? She's doing her thing. She's got her show. People like her. I don't particularly care for her show. I just don't like her brand of humor. I don't like how she kind of does her thing. My thing is I like a little edge. I like a little mess. I don't like all that kumbaya, my lord type mess that she tried to do with all that fake Jesus crap. Because I do think it's performative with her. And so maybe the best thing is he isn't there. I know you probably just wanted him around because he was a crutch, and maybe he was like a rock to you and he was your good friend and you just couldn't see past his blind spots. So it was blinding you. But if he's creating a situation where it's going to cause you to possibly get your show chopped, um, I think the best bet for him is to go. So yeah, they said there was some harassment, hostile work environment stuff, but quiet as it's kept, and quiet as it's been kept, I just want to know if the person was male or female. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story surrounding the scandal? According to Rob Shooter, saying that, yeah, it wasn't he voluntarily just left. He was fired because, but I guess that was the kind of like to save face. That's what they wanted him to say. He left without giving us an explanation why you left. If you got a good, cushy job, why would you want to leave that? Like, I would want to stay there as long as humanly possible. So clearly, something had to transpire behind the scenes for you to have to leave this job. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. The shade. Oh, because I was talking about his perm. He was Al Sharpton, please. If you want black capitalists, do it on something that the area needs. So a casino in Times Square, no, it makes the already high crime risk even high. Absolutely, because you still got to worry about stuff. Like we know how to navigate through New York City because we from here. But if you dealing with when you got to deal with tourists, you got to worry about people trying to pickpocket you. You got to deal with all kinds of other mess that's going on. So we don't need a rise in those situations because I'll be mean mugging walking through Times Square. I'll be like, yeah, bitch, try me if you want. People need to understand that black capitalism is still capitalism that we see does more harm than good. Yeah, we talked like we mentioned that the other day. We was about at the end of the day, you said black capitalism is still capitalism. Stop trying to think about putting a gender or race or sexual orientation in front of something that makes it special. Capitalism is what it is. The definition doesn't change regardless who's behind it. So you tried it, Al. Somebody force feed him a damn sandwich. Pray the Murray away. I'm glad they voted it down. Look at what he did to downtown Brooklyn. Child, don't even get me started on Barclays Center. Barclays Center is a hot mess. I actually got a couple of coworkers that work at Barclays and the Garden, and they be telling me about. They say it's a little, it's ghetto basically. So I was like, oh, I won't be working there. I'll stay right where I'm at. He done came for your neck, Sherri. Literally. A non-existent one. I don't think people understand the issues. Casinos will jack up the prices around the neighborhood and then boom, the gentrification begins. Absolutely. So you're trying to um it's like, yeah, it's gonna build it up, and already it's too expensive to be in Manhattan. So if they build it by the Aqueduct racetrack, I don't think there's a lot of buildings or apartment complexes and things over in that area. Although I am noticing like further out in Queens, we are getting a lot more Latinos are moving out there, probably because it's too damn expensive living in Elmhurst and Jackson Heights and all that mess. So they coming further out. Not he, she, we. Well, if she was in the comments, we'd ask her. She has been in the comments of this show before. But anyway, let's move on. Let's see how many topics we got. I didn't do my four topics left. So look, Chad, we got three. We got three topics left to the end of the show. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, all that good stuff. Definitely helps out with the algorithm and all of that. Trying to blow this show. I'm almost at 3,000. Even though it's snail pace, we moving there. I'm happy that my little independent channel that could, we almost hitting that 3,000 mark. So, the algorithm, pushing all that out in the algorithm definitely helps. Please and thank you. Child, that's what my sister said when I was telling her about the casino. She said, y'all put a casino in there, the damn Manhattan gonna sink. So yeah, you talking about New York was sinking. Shit, y'all add a casino on top of that might sink. That might be the thing that does it in. We don't need no more weight on Manhattan. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some homosexual news. And let's get into David Geffen, because word on the curb is that he's ready to move on from this marriage. He wants to put it way behind him, and he's willing to shell out big bucks to tell his soon-to-be ex-husband to sashay away. So the 82-year-old, excuse me, media titan is in the middle of a bitter breakup with his much younger husband, David Armstrong, a 32-year-old ex-go-go dancer who once performed under the name Donovan Michaels. And by the way, in case y'all didn't remember, he's 50 years old younger than David Geffen. David Geffen is 82 years old. The pair tied the knot in 2023 without a prenup, a stunning move considered Geffen's fortune is pegged at $8.7 billion by Forbes. But 2 years later, the billionaire filed a divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, which they always file, and the financial fallout is jaw dropping. In new legal documents, Geffen said he's willing to hand over up to 50 grand a month in spousal support, but only for a year and only if he gets credit for what he's already forked out, according to TMZ. And forked out he has. Court filings reveal Geffen already shelled out $200,000 in cash since their February split, another $200,000 for rehab, plus the keys to a $50,000 a month Manhattan pad rent-free per the outlet. Bitch, you are being spoiled out of your ass, and you over here still trying to get more out of David Geffen? Hold on, let me make this smaller so we could take in Donovan's abs. Me being petty or messy. Um, that's crazy. You got more than them RuPaul Drag Race girls. They get 1 year with $200,000 prize, which they got to pay back with the tax. Pay on something for the taxes or whatever. But 50,000 a month, that's good. I would do that. But what I would also do is I give me a nice 1,500 a month apartment, save up that money, put it in a trust, put it in maybe in some like some stocks or whatever the case is, so I can still get paid and just live off that for the rest of my life. Or maybe you can go back to stripping. You still young and supple. So now Armstrong is also reportedly sitting on a $5 million cat stack. Oh wait, sorry. Let me read that again. Armstrong was also reported sitting on a $5 million stash of art, jewelry, and watches gifted to him during their whirlwind romance. And I'm sure you could probably do like a reality show, some real life, The Traders, one of them damn things. You can still find ways for go on one of them, dancing with the has-beens. I don't know. You could do one of those. Now, in the fresh court filings handled by Hollywood's go-to divorce shark, Laura Wasser, Geffen claims he's bent over backwards to settle the ugly spousal support fight, but mediation tanked, and he accuses Armstrong of trying to squeeze him with a media smear campaign, according to TMZ. The mogul also reminds the court of the obvious, saying he was already 80 and long retired when he walked down the aisle, meaning there was no community property built up during the World War 23-month marriage. In another filing, Geffen cut to the chase, asking the judge to legally declare him single per TMZ. He said the marriage is undoubtedly irremediably broken down and makes it clear, crystal clear, he wants out as soon as possible. Governor Armstrong reportedly tied the knot quietly in Beverly Hills. Now, just weeks later, the pair were spotted stepping off a Manhattan helipad with Geffen flashing a gold wedding band, the first public clue the mogul had made it official with his much younger beau. But Armstrong, who goes by Donovan Michaels, has a past that's anything but public, polished. Sorry, what the hell's wrong with me tonight? It's probably getting late. His career is consistently stringing together odd jobs while socializing in New York's modeling circles. Michaels is born in a small town, Michigan, with the name David Armstrong. A friend told the Post, saying he came from a very humble beginnings in a family of 13 children. He changed his name to Brandon Foster by the time he moved to Florida in 2014 and began working as a dancer and promoter at Miami homosexual clubs. Friends told the Post he was frequently seen along with plenty of other hot, sexy guys and attending clothing optional swim parties. His social media posts included numerous shirtless shots where he flaunted his fit body, including one from that year where he said he would be doing a little camming tonight. No little camming, child. Let me find you on Cam 4 Chatterbait over there playing with your ding-a-ling for some tokens. He noted that for paying customers, he would put on a good show. Now, sometime between 2016 and 2017, he moved to New York City and started going by Donovan Michaels. Well, look, once you get all your money and you settle with David Geffen, it won't be that long. This boy won't be out here. He'll be out here doing OnlyFans. He'll be prostituting, and you know, maybe he could be a yacht boy. Shit, hit up Zac Efron and ask him how you could be put on the whole yacht boy situation. Y'all are a mess over here, but we love a mess, especially when it comes to the gays, or as I like to call them, the homosexuals. So I definitely want to hear from you. I'm gonna keep abreast of the story as it develops. So, what you guys think of this story? I was like, you know what? Take the deal, get your money. He's not going to take care of you for the rest of your life. You're not going to be a cat woman, sir. Like you had, the ride was fun while it lasted. Take your lashings, get your coin, let him pay you out for the duration of the year, and whatever you save up, save it up and invest so that way you can see some of that money coming back in. But I don't know what you would invest in because with this current president, his idiocy and just messing up our country and all this other stuff, I don't know what you could possibly dabble into that you could put place stocks in. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Not Donovan, Anna Nicole. All right, now speaking of people who are on reality shows and homosexuals, well, this one claimed he ain't gay no more. But let's go out Davis Mallory. So I don't know if y'all remember Davis, but I remember him when he was on the Real World back in the day. But let me remind you of this queen who says he's not gay no more. Yeah, he thinking he basically the white equivalent of who I said earlier. That one that said he delivered Andrew Caldwell. So, in case you need a refresher, he's best known for appearing on The Real World Denver back in 2006. So that was like 30, 20 years ago. At the time, he was your stereotypical blonde-haired, blue-eyed frat boy with a popped up collar and spiky faux hawk. He grew up in a conservative Christian family in Georgia, where he clearly picked up some pretty racist tendencies. So, on his season of The Real World, Mallory famously dropped the N word after getting into a heated argument with his black co star Tyree Ballard. But the thing that made Mallory edgy, at least by 2006 standards, wasn't his casual use of racial slurs. It was the fact that despite being a frat boy from an uber religious household, he was a homosexual. Emphasis on the word was because this week, the 42-year-old revealed, damn, all these people from the real world era is in my damn age bracket. The 42-year-old revealed he's no longer identifies as a homosexual male. In fact, he hasn't been gay in over a year. Well, I'm glad you could turn it off like a light switch, but sir, I can smell dick on your breath through this damn screen. So I don't even know how you gonna sit up here and talk about that you not gay no more. Girl, bye. First of all, that picture over on the right serves full on gay face down. If you was to walk a ball and they were doing walking homosexual face, you would actually get tens, tens, tens across the board. Don't play with me, Miss Mamas. So excuse me. Now the damn Lord put the roots on my damn throat. Now I can't stop coughing. Anyway, so he said, this morning's revelation, let me know your thoughts. He posted on Instagram along with a lengthy story about how God steered him away from a lifestyle of sin. He said, I feel like God gave me this vision that us being righteous and following the law is his perfect plan for us. Sinning in any way is not his plan for us and is not us honoring his design for how he made us. He did not design us to sin. And when we live a life of sin, we are not just dishonoring God, but we are doing a disservice to ourselves and our character. Well, bitch, I'm going to keep on sinning because sin is in. And he also went and said, think of all the stories of the men and kings who pleased God and honored his command. Excuse me, and those who did not, we are still being judged under those same standards. So why there's such a high pedestal that y'all always want to put when it comes to being gay is the ultimate sin. There's so many other things we ain't supposed to be doing. Y'all be out here mixing fabrics. Y'all be out here eating shellfish because I'm sure your ass be eating plenty at a Red Lobster, and there's some still around. So y'all be sitting up here doing all kinds of things, but it's funny how y'all always want to cherry pick the gay thing when homosexuality has been existing long before there was a thing called the Bible. long before a man wrote the Bible, long before there was a thing that reared its ugly head called Christianity. There was homosexuality. There were people of the same gender, female on female, male on male, who was hunching. But of course, y'all come in with these religious indoctrinations, and then y'all start doing all of this. So, what transpired all of a sudden, him having this revelation? Well, apparently, according to the story, they feel like he came to this. This is a smokescreen because he's a failed pop star, and he tried to launch a career in pop music back in the day. But because he failed at that, oh, let me go into doing the Christian music, and I'm gonna just denounce being gay, and so that'll be my niche to get up in there because I need a grift and I need money. So yeah, because they said in 2018 he published a lengthy post on Facebook about his coming out journey and how he knew he was gay even before Ellen DeGeneres came out, saying, "I knew I was a homosexual since I was 15." He said at the time, "I grew up singing in my church choir and I witnessed other straight members of his choir excel in music careers. I didn't pursue music because I didn't see a place for myself as a gay artist." And yeah, in those days, who could see themselves as a gay artist? They were non-existent. I mean, you did have a few of them that existed, but their careers never. You didn't see a gay man go and have a career like a Madonna or a Lady Gaga or something or another like that. Their careers had already expanded and blown up, and then they came out towards the end of their career, like a Ricky Martin and Elton John and so many others did. Then he said, then someone asked him, "Do you still consider yourself gay?" This is what a follower asked Mallory in his Instagram last week. To which the former reality star pondered, "What does it mean to be gay?" Well, you would know. And so he goes and asks, "Are you attracted to men?" The follower clarified, "Do you sleep with men?" And Davis responded, "Do I find men beautiful? Yes, of course. Do I find women beautiful? Yes, of course. Not you gonna give us that David Archuleta, who's still trying to deprogram himself into Mormonism to say, "Oh, I like women and I like men." Child, we know you like dick. Stop it. Just like with Davis, you like dick because you damn sure ain't the top. You don't give me that. You definitely give me like you clean yourself out for like a good hour before you get that coochie stretched or bussy stretched or scratched, I should say. So, um, he didn't ask you about the women. He asked you, "What are you attracted to men?" He didn't ask you, "Do you find women beautiful?" Then he continued by saying, "We are created in God's image and in His likeness." But I thought you were sinning against God. So are we created in His image or not? You gotta. It's the inconsistencies for me, sir. The beauty of creation gives glory to the creator. I'll ask you this. What do you believe the design for sex is for? What do you believe in sexually immoral behavior? Well, a lot of the religious people believe that sex should only be for procreation and not pleasure. I don't know if they'll do that, but sex is for pleasure. And if you're thinking it's only there to just be going through the mud, that's why a lot of y'all are bad at it because y'all thinking that sex is just for procreation and not you shouldn't be exploring your body and learning what it is that you like and don't like, what you will and will not do, so you can understand boundaries and what that partner that you're in a relationship with and you're going to sleep with, what their boundaries are and what they like and what they don't like. So the follower clearly growing impatient, accused Mallory of which he was, dodging the question, then asked point blank, "Are you sexually attracted to men and do you have sex with men?" To which Mallory replied, "To answer your question directly, then no and no." Girl, you lying. Why you always lying? I get so excited. Mallory is currently in Hawaii where he just performed his new song Baptized at Arise Church in Hilo, a Pentecostal mega church with locations all over the world. Now, speaking to the congregation, he explained that he lived the gay lifestyle, word I cannot stand, for 20 years, but gave it up last year when God started giving me vivid dreams and healed me from trauma that showed me the spiritual warfare I was under. Though he no longer identifies as a homosexual, Mallory's music video for Fun as Fuck, which he released last month, is still, well, pretty gay. In addition to being a dance song, the video features him sitting at a bar with several other men dressed in drag. Child, I cannot. Like, good night with all this foolishness. I can't stand you rhymes with maggots that sit up here with this BS, want us to believe that you are not gay no more. You have a music video that you just released, but you got drag queens, all kinds of other stuff in your video. You're doing dance pop. Your music is gone triple plastic instead of triple platinum. Nobody cares. So now you got to find a way to grift and get in the news, and we're helping promote the shenanigans. So congratulations, you got your 5 seconds of attention. But you still gay as fuck, honey. So, Miss Honey, I should say. So, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you actually believe that Davis has turned over a new leaf, that he's delivered, that he not gay no more? So, as I side eye this whole situation, it's all sarcasm. Let me know what you guys think of this foolishness in the comments down below. Damn, just left from seeing him, didn't realize you were live. Oh, I heard him is not a good movie. I want to see it, but reviews have been trashing that movie. He saw the light after how many men? Okay, he saw the light when he got that whole stretch. He got that big old girthy 10-inch meat put up in that butt. That's when he saw the light. Exactly. Well, how will I choose? So many men, so little time. Being a Christian is the new grift. Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. These people be out here just using church, Jesus, and God. And y'all be so damn slow and y'all just don't see through the BS. It's a grift. It's all one big scam. It's a con, especially with him singing at a mega church. The mega church was the dead damn giveaway. Now, those people are in a cult within itself. OMFG, if he says this standing on at a podium, he probably has someone pretending to be a Hoover vacuum cleaner underneath. So those eyes rolling in the back of his head would be because he got the spirit. Okay. I just don't understand how people are willing to just turn off a part of who they are just so they can have, or just sell themselves out just to have some type of success and money. Like, no, you got to have some kind of dignity. You got to be able to stand for something. All right, now speaking of some people who actually do stand for something, and that's homosexual marriage, let's get into Monet Exchange. So yeah, the Drag Race alum and Drag Race winner, I should say, she just got engaged. So a huge congratulations are in order to Monet, who I was speaking to a friend of mine, said that they actually sent a text. So congratulations. And funnily enough, they also sent me Plain Jane got a new music video. Let me see, called Ham Sandwich feature. Well, it's a music video. I think it's Bob the Drag Queen has a song called Ham Sandwich featuring Plain Jane. Weren't they beefing at one point? So it looks like they let bygones be bygones. But anyway, let's get into Monet. So yeah, she announced her marriage on social media. And basically her man's name is Andy Short. Of course, you see never mind. So basically, she said, locked in, the 35-year-old wrote alongside sweet pics of the two smooching, showing off their rings, and embracing in a sea of staged sunflowers. Based on the photos, it looks like the floral filled engagement went down at LA hotspot and flamenco club El Cid Sunset. According to his Instagram, it appears that Short, a personal trainer who also works with the Phoenix in supporting sober activity communities, popped the question. Well, if he's a personal trainer, that's probably why Monet is so damn buff now. They also want to say, my sweetie, huge thank you for everything who helped make this little surprise. Short gushed in a post of his own, adding an extra thanks to his new fiance for agreeing to this. LOL. The acclaimed drag comedian and Short have been together for years, becoming Instagram official back in 2021 and walking the red carpet together at this year's Glad Media Awards. So yeah, 4 years they've been together. That's a good run to be in a relationship with someone. So I would definitely be here for wait, hold on, because I actually want to pull. Did I pull that up? I guess not. Well, I thought I had the picture for y'all of the whole engagement situation, but we'll leave it on this one. So this is Andy's um Instagram. So acclaimed drag comedian and short have been, oh, I already read that. Naturally, much of Monet's Drag Race family, including Gottmik, Peppermint, Denali, Kerry Colby, and Jimbo, hit up the comment section to celebrate, with Bianca saying, prenup, prenup, prenuptial agreement in caps, while Trixie Mattel asks, can I be the third? Trinity the Tuck Trinity the Tuck congratulated her twinner, aka twin winner. We got it. You didn't need to explain that. While Drag Race judge Michelle Visage offered a exclamatory OMG congrats. Of course, the best comment came from Monet's sibling rivalry co-host, Bob the Drag Queen, who wrote, wait, what? I'm like, sis, you didn't know? Furthermore, it's a cherry on top of what's been a busy month for Monet. So not only is the multi-hyphenate touring the country on her road work tour, and competing on the upcoming fourth season of The Traitors, but she's also revealed that she's joining the Survivor family. Monet was one of 8 influencers, including LGBTQ plus TikTok cutie Davis Burleson, the not that other mess Davis that's over here pretending he ain't gay no more, who were tapped to spend 36 hours on the island of Fiji for a special sped up version of the reality show premiering on Survivor's YouTube today. So honestly, after surviving RuPaul, Jeff Probst, and Alan Cumming, marriage probably seemed like a piece of cake. So, at the end of the day, congratulations to Monet on this marriage. Where you can see there, this is where that's the official one. So yeah, that was. Let's see what a couple of other people were saying. Mistress Isabel Brooks said, "Aw, sweet as Saint Lucia." Trinity the Tug, we already read hers. Bob the Drag Queen put a heart massage. I mean, a heart emoji. Sultan Amrul, who you'll know is Raja, put red hearts. On Yay came from Plasma. Rose sent some emojis. Shea Kool-Aid, congratulations, Monet. I was about to say something shady about Shea Kool-Aid because all her drag daughters pretty much dropped her like a hot potato. But yeah, I need to look further into that story because I've had so many people, including one of my insiders, Drag Race insiders, telling me about. Did you actually bring up about the whole thing with Monet? And I was like, I mean, not Monet, Shea Coulee. I was like, I was hearing things, but it's the stories have kind of been conflicted on my end, so I'm not really knowing what to even speak about in regards to that. I was relatively confused watching some of the other videos, but anyway, so yes, congratulations to you, Monet. You know, and all that good stuff that's going on with your relationship. You got yourself a QT. Wait, where was y'all at when y'all watched this? Because they was at they put the Lady Gaga Mayhem Ball. I was like, where is this at? But anyway, I am gonna make a comment about another black queen with a white man, but we're gonna leave it alone. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Luke says it. Wow, all the black drag race girls are white men. Didn't y'all learn from Widow? And who's Widow? Only one I'm thinking about was Widow is Widow Von Du. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I mean, that is a lot to unpack when you're sitting there asking, okay, so why is it that? I mean, some of the conversations that I brought up, and some people got mad when I talked about this, is that, a lot of time, particularly within the black community, that you don't have a lot of gay black men who want to be open and in a relationship with other gay black men. So that could possibly be it. I don't think that's all necessarily 110% true, but a lot of black men who look like the Billy Porters, the Todrick Halls, and the Monet Exchanges, when you're someone who has been around and traveled the world and kind of played in certain circles, you go where you feel like you're wanted and accepted. Whereas, a lot of times when you're black and queer, they tend to deal with or not want to deal with the traumas of, okay, so there was some black queer, black people that called me F words and was disrespectful and, all that other stuff. So they don't want to deal with the traumatic stuff. Okay, now if I'm going to be with a relationship with a black man, you're going to be open about it. We can't be no secret. Can't be no, my parents don't know. We got to hide it, keep it on the low. there's not a lot of people willing to go back in the closet for that, especially when you have a lot of these and you already know the whole feminine masculine situation, how black men will revere and uphold wanting to be straight acting, masculine presenting, that sort of thing. So there's a lot to unpack within that. So that could be a lot of what plays into why a lot of people that I say look like the Bob the drag queens and the Monet Exchange and the Todrick Halls and all of them go for white males. Mm-mm, I bet you wouldn't. But Cleveland is not a white man. He is Latino. But anyway, so yeah, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I went to 1 o'clock in the morning. This might be the latest I've ever done a show. Actually, not. Well, back in the day when I was doing my other show, and I had EJ producing it, I would do like shows up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff. So it's been a long time since I did a after midnight show. So yeah, love you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Thank you for all hanging out with me in the comments and so on and so forth. And then yeah, I'm gonna be very busy this weekend. I got a show tomorrow, I got a show Saturday, I got a show Monday, and I got a show on Monday. Child, I'm gonna be 4 days doing work. Tuesday's my only day that I'm like, okay, I have time. Thinking that I'm gonna try to see if I could possibly do a Sunday night show or a Monday morning show. Don't quote me on it, but I got to figure out when I could actually, because I got to keep the algorithm and stuff running with the programming and stuff, because I don't want to be gone for too long before I slip on down. So yeah, love you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support, and until next time, which will be in a couple of days. Ciao, darlings.